Chapter 121, Mysterious Person. Heighten Planet, Virtual Universe Company Training Ground. LV Luo and Yan Ning stood facing each other. Over the past few months, they had sparred here every few days. LV Luo clearly felt Yan Ning had become much stronger, not in a gradual way, but like a cliff-like leap. Although his fire domain still remained at the peak of level 1. But that aura, that sense of pressure, was more than a level stronger than it was a month ago. Your gold domain, what level is it at? LV Luo couldn't help but ask. Yan Ning didn't hide it, level 3. LV Luo was silent for a moment. Planetary level 9, gold domain level 3. Plus fire domain peak of level 1, and that heaven-defying physical body. She suddenly felt her loss wasn't unjust. Hubby, teach me. LV Luo said coquettishly, how did you break through? How did you gain comprehension? I want to break through to level 3. Yan Ning naturally wouldn't refuse. He didn't hold back, detailing his insights into gold domain level 3. Domain level 1 is seeing the flow of laws, seeing the trajectory of energy. Domain level 2 is merging, becoming a part of the law yourself, no longer a bystander. Domain level 3 is control, the law is no longer an external object, but a part of your body. He raised his right hand. Golden particles gathered in his palm, forming a small sword. The wood domain is the same. Wood is not softness, not life. Wood is resilience, rooting, the unyielding spirit that grows even in the cracks of rocks. You use the wood domain too softly, before, vine entanglement, binding, consumption, those are the surface of wood. The essence of wood is never giving up on growth. LV Luo fell into deep thought. The 30% comprehension ability boost from Companion's heart played its role at this moment. Yan Ning's words were like a key, inserted into the tightly closed door in her consciousness. The light leaking from the door's crack was brighter than any time before. The essence of wood is never giving up on growth. LV Luo repeated these words and closed her eyes. The bottleneck of wood domain level 2 peak shattered in the depths of her consciousness. Countless emerald green light spots gushed out from the void, gathering into a lush forest phantom. Like towering trees, roots digging into the earth, crowns piercing the sky. Wood domain level 3. LV Luo opened her eyes, her pupils reflecting an emerald green. 12 wooden spikes rotated around her, each emitting life energy several times denser than before. She looked down at her hands, her voice trembling slightly. I broke through. I really broke through. Then she pounced, hugging Yan Ning and kissing him fiercely several times. Yan Ning, hubby, I love you to death. I want to give you many, many babies. Yan Ning was a bit dazed by her kisses, but he wasn't in a hurry. He knew it was difficult for the Yan God race bloodline to conceive offspring, and it wasn't counted in the milestone rewards by the system, but ordinary achievements could still be calculated. LV Luo had her own path to walk. The Genius Battle, Virtual Universe Company, Primordial Chaos City, her stage was vast, there was no rush. Do what you need to do first, the rest isn't urgent. LV Luo nodded vigorously, her eyes sparkling with unprecedented light. Immediately after the breakthrough, LV Luo chose to inform Qing Now, updated her information, and completed the contract update. The news spread through the virtual universe data stream to the entire Gamu universe country within milliseconds. Open black lens bracket LV Luo, planetary level 9, wood domain level 3. Special grade elite contract, officially signed with Virtual Universe Company, close black lens bracket. Dual space lobby. The ranking list on the light screen refreshed again. LV Luo's name jumped from A-grade elite potential to special grade elite, and her status changed from pending to signed. Once the news broke, it set off another massive wave. Domain level 3. Wasn't she stuck at level 2? Before, how did she suddenly break through? A month ago, she was insta-killed by Yan Ning's punch, and now she's at level 3. This progress speed is too ridiculous. I heard she's very close to Yan Ning, and the two of them often cultivate together. Cultivating together can lead to a breakthrough from level 2 to level 3. Then I'll go cultivate with Yan Ning too. You, beat Shaka first before you talk. In the observation seats. Qing now looked at LV Luo's latest information, tapping her fingers on the table. Domain level 3. Planetary level 9. This rating, even special grade elite, is a bit low. She should have been given core seed status. Although Qing now spoke with some dissatisfaction. But the upturned corners of her mouth could hardly be suppressed. The other two naturally chose to ignore Qing Nao's show-off attitude. There was nothing they could do. After all, the virtual universe company was massive and powerful. Tai Kui looked frustrated. The giant axe fighting arena is a step behind again. LV Luo signed with Virtual Universe Company, and Yan Ning also signed with Virtual Universe Company. We in Great Axe have gained nothing in the planetary level domain this year. You can't blame me for this, blame the giant axe fighting arena for not being competitive enough. Mo Yu didn't speak, just looked at LV Luo's information thoughtfully. The timing of her breakthrough and the timing of starting, cultivating together, with Yan Ning highly overlapped. A coincidence? Or, Mo Yu shook her head and didn't investigate further. The news continued to spread. Juyong Universe Country. Lord of Juyong was silent for a moment after receiving the news. Wood Domain Level 3. That little girl refused my invitation before, and now it's even more impossible. He gave a bitter laugh and said no more. Gamu Universe Country. Gamu Country Lord was in a good mood. LV Luo broke through to level 3, and Yan Ning beat LV Luo. In any case, both are from my Gamu Universe Country. Order it down. Raise LV Luo's authority in the Gamu Dojo by another level. No need to give much money, but make sure she gets plenty of face. The reactions from various major forces were surprisingly consistent, with olive branches flying toward LV Luo like snowflakes. Invitations from undying holy lands, summons from universe country lords, marriage proposals from top families. Someone even offered the promise, as long as Your Highness LV Luo is willing to marry into our clan, within 1,000 years, we will definitely push Qinglan planet into the ranks of domain lord level forces. But LV Luo's reply left everyone stunned. My heart already belongs to someone. His talent is much, much stronger than mine. The dual space exploded again. LV Luo has someone she likes. Who? Talent even stronger than hers. Planetary level 9 with domain level 3 is already a top-tier prodigy. What does, even stronger than her, mean? Could it be Yan Ning? She's only been close to Yan Ning lately. Yan Ning. He's at fire domain level 1, far worse than LV Luo's level 3. But he beat LV Luo. Winning a fight and talent are two different things, okay. Yan Ning's physical talent is indeed heaven-defying, but his domain talent is clearly inferior to LV Luo's. He's only at level 1, while LV Luo is already at level 3. Then who else could it be? Countless young talents beat their chests and stamped their feet. Someone put out word to challenge that mysterious person. Someone sourly said LV Luo must have been deceived, and others stubbornly continued to send marriage invitations. But LV Luo ignored them all. She and Yan Ning had discussed it and decided not to go public for now. Yan Ning had important matters to handle next. Although he didn't elaborate, LV Luo could feel the sense of urgency from him. Being in the spotlight would make many things difficult to carry out. Wait until I'm finished. I'll wait for you, hubby Yan Ning. Chapter 122, Phantom Sword Initial Success. The 6-month countdown had already seen more than half its time pass. The Golden Horned Beast was at Stellar Grade Level 7, the Cloud-Piercing Vine King at Stellar Grade Level 8, Gold Domain at Level 3, Fire Fist at its 10th style, and the Universe Level Orbital Cannon was ready to fire. The Yan God Race clone had made rapid progress after breaking through to the Stellar Grade, reaching Stellar Grade Level 4 with a Level 2 fire domain. Yan Ning stood in the training room, feeling the surging power within his body. These advancements would be enough for any genius to be proud of, but he had no time to dwell on them. The Wanxin clan fleet was approaching through the starry sky. 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, every second of the countdown echoed in Yan Ning's heart. Actually, Yan Ning had an easier path he could take. With his current strength, Level 3 Gold Domain, Level 2 Fire Domain, and a powerful physical body surpassing the Monka Star bloodline. If Yan Ning were to reveal some of his trump cards in the virtual universe, securing a core seed position would be effortless. At that point, the problem of the Wanxin clan would be solved easily, it wouldn't even be considered a difficulty. Numerous domain lord and world lord level powers would proactively extend olive branches to him. If Yan Ning showed even a hint of willingness, plenty of people would flatten the Wanxin clan on his behalf. Not to mention, please remember to read at 101kanshu.com, the super-powered website for the fastest chapter updates. He could directly apply for authority from the virtual universe company to uproot the Wanxin clan entirely. But there was no need. First, it would expose too many secrets. The golden horned beast, the Yan god race, and the system, these things could not withstand the deep scrutiny of major powers. Second, ultimately, it was just one Wanxin clan, was he really going to shrink away from their sharp edge? If he sought help for this and that, then dominating the universe would just be empty talk. Yan Ning was never the type to enjoy leaving his back to others, it was better to rely on himself. One's own blade is the sharpest and safest. Rather than waiting for death, it's better to take the initiative. Yan Ning stood before a star map, his finger pointing at the route from the Wanxin clan territory to Azure. Then, I'll catch them completely off guard. Only 1 month remained until the Wanxin clan reached Azure. Today, Yan Ning had finally consumed the majority of his resources. 50 billion Gamu coins had been spent like water over the past 5 months. Metal fodder for the golden horned beast, life essence for the cloud-piercing vine king, armor dissolution secret method materials for the Yan god race clone. Every item cost an astronomical sum. The biggest money sink, however, was true body heaven and earth. To cultivate the golden horned beast's innate secret method, true body heaven and earth, to minor achievement required a complete set of top-tier rare metal formulas. Yan Ning found the formula in his inherited memories and checked the price on the virtual universe trading market. It required 4 mixed element units. 4 mixed elements. 1 mixed element was equal to 1 trillion Gamu coins. 4 mixed elements meant 4 trillion Gamu coins. Yan Ning looked at the number and couldn't help but fall silent. His entire net worth was only about 50 billion Gamu coins. Even if he threw it all in, he wouldn't even touch the edge of minor achievement for true body heaven and earth. A true bottomless pit. Yan Ning felt quite a bit of pressure. The stronger the golden horned beast became, the larger its appetite grew. Stellar grade was manageable, but once it reached universe level or world lord level, the resources needed would be beyond his imagination. Unless he found a world lord space secret realm. The universe. Crystals contained within secret realms were the true fodder for feeding a golden horned beast. Once the Wanxin clan is dealt with, I should prepare to participate in the universe mercenary exam. The status isn't important, what matters is the trial secret realm, and universe crystals. But today, there was something even more important. A breakthrough for the Yan god weapon was imminent. Yan Ning had a premonition, it would be today. Yan Ning sat cross-legged in the center of the training room. The golden horned beast clone was likewise coiled within his internal world. Level 3 gold domain was fully deployed, and countless golden particles gathered in the void, condensing into an illusory longsword before Yan Ning. Yan god weapon first style, phantom sword style. Over these 6 months, he had soaked the inheritance seed with his psychic power every day, repeatedly knocking on the threshold of the golden origin law. The golden horned beast's law talent played a crucial role at this moment. That starry sky behemoth sleeping in his internal world was born with an unimaginable affinity for the gold law. With the enhancement of the level 3 gold domain, Yan Ning finally crossed that threshold. The first wisp of the golden origin law's concept rose slowly from the end of his sea of consciousness like the morning sun. The golden light dispelled the long-standing darkness, connecting fragmented insights into a complete thread. Yan Ning opened his eyes and made a grasping motion with his right hand. In the void, golden particles gathered frantically, compressing, solidifying, and shaping until a 3-foot longsword formed in his palm. Phantom sword style. The first level of the 9-fold chaotic heaven evolution, the initial form of the Yan god weapon. Though it was only the most basic style, its sharp aura was enough to make any martial artist below the universe level tremble with fear. Unfortunately, it's only one sword and one style, but I've already achieved the best possible state for now. Yan Ning felt more than half of his psychic power drained from his body and frowned slightly. With his current realm, fully condensing the phantom sword style could only be maintained for about 3 strikes. After 3 strikes, his psychic power would hit rock bottom and require some time to recover. Although the recovery interval wasn't long, in a life-and-death struggle, it would still be a significant hidden danger. However, Yan Ning could feel the power of each strike. A stellar grade level 9 opponent wouldn't last a single breath against this sword. As for universe level 1, I'll have to give it a try to find out. Yan Ning headed into the cosmic void alone. Yan Ning took a deep breath, his resources were exhausted, and all preparations were complete. Rather than waiting for death, it was better to take the initiative and catch the other side off guard. And so, unnoticed by anyone, Yan Ning's stellar grade level 4 Yan God race clone, accompanied by the stellar grade level 7 Golden Horned Beast, the stellar grade level 8 Cloud Piercing Vine King, the C4 class universe level orbital cannon, and the Yan God weapon, went out to meet the challenge. The vast starry sky of the universe. The asteroid belt. This asteroid belt, located in the eastern territory of the Haiden Empire, was the mandatory path for the Wanshin clan fleet to reach Azure. From the Wanshin clan territory to Azure, at the jump speed of a universe-level spaceship, this was the only route that could be completed within 6 months. Even the second closest route would take 10 months. It took Yan Ning several days to finally find a natural hollow within this asteroid belt. Inside a massive meteorite with a diameter exceeding 100 kilometers, a cavity formed by an impact was just large enough to hide a spaceship and an orbital cannon. After spending considerable effort, the orbital cannon was finally set up. The C4 class, universe-level orbital cannon was a single-use strategic weapon. It had a precision-effective killing range of 18 million kilometers, and its maximum output power could kill targets below universe level 3. This was the greatest immediate combat trump card Yan Ning had obtained from his 10 draw summons. It was also his greatest reliance for daring to ambush 3 universe-level combatants single-handedly on this trip. The Golden Horned Beast lay in wait at the edge of the meteorite cavity, its scales withdrawing their light to blend into the dark starry sky as one. The vines of the cloud-piercing Vine King wrapped around the surface of the meteorite, camouflaging themselves as natural rock patterns. The Yan God race clone stood before the orbital cannon's control console, his finger hovering over the fire button. All preparations were complete. Chapter 123, Ambush in the Starry Sky. Actually, it wasn't that Yan Ning hadn't thought of other ways. For example, asking the Virtual Universe Corporation for help, revealing his third-level domain of gold in exchange for core seeds, or hiring mercenaries. But these plans either exposed too much, were too costly, or there wasn't enough time. Most importantly, unless absolutely necessary, Yan Ning would never seek outside help. Once a habit of dependency is formed, one loses the ability to handle crises. Yan Ning couldn't be lucky every time. At certain times, one must not leave any way out for oneself. So, Yan Ning came with almost all of his hidden reserves. Open black lens bracket writing to this point, I hope readers can remember our domain name 101kanshu.com, it's super awesome, the 101kks.com library is vast, close black lens bracket. So, why was he so certain about the movements of the Wanshin clan fleet? Even the Virtual Universe Corporation couldn't pinpoint the exact destination of the Wanshin clan ships. They only told Yan Ning there was personnel movement, but the destination was unknown. Of course, if the Virtual Universe Corporation wanted to investigate thoroughly, it wouldn't be hard, sending any Undying would solve it. The reason they couldn't locate them was simply that it wasn't worth it. With Yan Ning's first-class elite authority, it wasn't enough to make the company waste manpower tracking a secret fleet of a universe rank power. Moreover, afterward, he would also have to explain, how did you know the Wanshin clan had assembled a fleet? How did you know their route? But fortunately, Yan Ning had the system. After completing the branching out task and the family expansion task binding, he obtained more system authority. one of which was early warning of hostile forces movements. Although it wasn't real-time monitoring, the system gave a crisis alert the moment the opponent locked onto Azure and dispatched their fleet. It bought Yan Ning precious preparation time and an information advantage. Afterward, Yan Ning combined the length of the route from the Wanxin clan territory to Azure, as well as the jump speed of universe-rank ships, and accurately calculated their inevitable route and the approximate time window. Only this path matched the warning time provided by the system. In other words, the Wanxin clan thought no one knew, and it was a swift sword-drawing plan. But the moment they moved, Yan Ning knew. The opponent hadn't calculated at all that Yan Ning would set an ambush in advance. After all, everyone involved in the operation was a trusted clan member, and they had intentionally disconnected from the virtual universe before setting out. How could it have leaked? But they didn't know that Yan Ning had a cheat. Speaking of which, I have to thank Lu Luo. Yan Ning remembered a casual chat with Lu Luo a month ago. At that time, he was still struggling with how to deal with the Wanxin clan fleet, whether to go head-to-head or defend from a strategic position. Lu Luo had casually remarked, "Why must it be a head-on clash to solve it? In this cosmic dark forest, results are all that matter, not the process. When a race's survival is at stake, you must win by any means necessary." Yan Ning had an epiphany. Indeed, he had been thinking with the mindset of a martial artist. Fighting honorably and defeating opponents fairly, but this damn thing isn't an arena match, it's war. They want to exterminate his race, and he's supposed to care about martial ethics. In an instant, Yan Ning felt his horizons broaden. Ambushes, sneak attacks, orbital cannons, outnumbering the enemy, whatever it takes to win. Edge of the asteroid belt. 3 Wanxin clan warships sailed silently in a triangular formation. On the fleet's flagship, 3 universe rank level 1 experts sat around a star map. The leader was named Ji Yu Li. Yan Ning had killed Ji Yu Li before, and this time it was Ji Yu Li. Ji Yu Li was the person in charge of this operation, a universe rank level 1 peak, only half a step away from level 2. The other 2, one was named Yu Quan, the other, Amigu. "My lords, we are about to pass through the asteroid belt ahead." A subordinate at astral rank grade 9 in charge of navigation reported, "After passing through the asteroid belt and making 3 more jumps, we will reach the target star system. Estimated arrival time is 26 days. Ji Yu Li nodded, but did not relax. The asteroid belt has complex terrain and is an ideal place for an ambush. Pass down the order, all ships decelerate, and dispatch wingmen to scout ahead to ensure everything is secure." "Yes." Yu Quan frowned. "Ji Yu Li, aren't you being too cautious? The strongest person on that Azure star is only at the planetary level. With 3 universe ranks dispatched, it's already like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Carefulness is the key to longevity." Ji Yu Li shook his head. The things Elder Mo Xin was involved with were of a high level. That the opponent could obtain the inheritance shows they are no simple character. Plus, he is a first-class elite of the Virtual Universe Corporation. Who knows if he has obtained some trump cards from the company. He paused, his voice lowering. "The hope of the race is in our hands, we cannot fail the Elder's trust." Migu nodded from the side. Ji Yu Li is right. I've been feeling uneasy, a feeling I've had since the day we set out. It's not a problem with my cultivation, anyway, I can't put my finger on it, it's very strange. You felt it too. Ji Yu Li glanced at him. Then we must be even more careful. From the asteroid belt onwards, maintain full combat readiness. Migu, in a moment you will be in charge of one of the wingmen, ready to respond to any emergencies at any time. Understood. The orders were passed down layer by layer. The 3 warships slowed down. 4 small wingmen were ejected from the flagship's hangar, trailing blue plumes of flame as they flew deep into the asteroid belt. The wingmen were equipped with a full suite of detection equipment that could scan the interior cavities of asteroids, energy fluctuations, and life signs. Meanwhile, the fleet's 3 warships spread out, maintaining a distance of 100,000 kilometers from each other. Even if one of them were attacked, the other 2 could react immediately and form crossfire. Ji Li stood on the bridge. Looking at the dense dots of asteroids on the star map, his finger lightly tapped the armrest. He always felt something was wrong, but he couldn't say what. The plan was absolutely seamless, it was impossible for it to have leaked. Success comes from secrecy, failure from disclosure. Before setting out, they had already disguised themselves as pirates, cut their virtual universe connections, and deployed 3 universe ranks, all for the sake of a swift resolution without leaving any survivors. The strongest person on Azure Star, Ning, is only at planetary level grade 9. Even if he has trump cards, what kind of waves can he make? Even if he defies the heavens and breaks through to the astral rank, what of it? But that feeling of unease lingered. I hope I'm just overthinking it, Ji Li muttered to himself. The wingmen had already gone deep into the asteroid belt, their detection waves scanning every asteroid in circles. No abnormalities were found for the time being. But deep within the asteroid belt, inside that massive asteroid with a diameter of 100 kilometers, Ning's finger was already hovering over the launch button of the orbital cannon. The positions, trajectories, and scanning frequencies of the 4 wingmen were all in full view. They are indeed very cautious. Sending wingmen to scout and spreading the warships, formation, as expected of a universe rank power, they aren't brainless fools. Ning was in no hurry to act. The orbital cannon only has 1 shot, it must hit the most valuable target, the flagship. And the flagship was currently hiding at the edge of the asteroid belt, waiting for the wingmen to send back a safety signal before entering. Wait for them to enter range, wait for the flagship to reveal a weakness. The golden horned beast was retracted into his internal space to completely hide its form, and the vines of the Mo Yun Vine King tightened slightly. The Yan God weapon shimmered with golden light, ready to condense into the phantom sword style at any moment. In the asteroid belt, the 4 wingmen were getting closer and closer. The countdown has already begun. Chapter 124, One-Shot Kill, Universe Ablaze. Deep within the asteroid belt, Ning stared at the light spots on the star map, calculating rapidly. 3 Wanshin clan warships were in a triangular formation. The flagship was centered in the rear, with 2 frigates to its left and right, spaced 100,000 kilometers apart. Under the interference of the asteroid belt, this distance meant a few minutes of maneuvering time. Although not ample, it was enough for him to defeat them one by one. It would be much more convenient if I had a group of astral rank 9 slaves as cannon fodder right now. Ning shook his head, dismissing the thought. Slaves required advanced deployment, someone to control them, and would expose more of his trump cards. It was best not to do anything that could increase the risk of exposure. The key point was that astral rank 9 slaves couldn't influence the battle's outcome. At most, they would only be the icing on the cake. The risk was too high, and the returns were too low. Giving up on using slaves was the best choice. Updates are not easy, remember to share 101kanshu.com. However, while it's a bit troublesome, it's only a bit troublesome. Ning's gaze moved across the star map. The flagship was at the very back, with the frigates positioned forward. If he attacked the flagship directly, the frigates would provide support within minutes. But if he attacked a frigate first, the flagship would become alert and might even escape. He had to pin down 2 targets simultaneously to make the orbital cannon strike exert its maximum value. Or rather, only by killing 2 universe rank individuals with 1 shot could Ning take down the remaining universe rank in the subsequent melee. Ning quickly formulated a tactic. The golden horned beast would be responsible for luring the enemy. No one would associate the golden horned beast with the azure human, Ning. In anyone's eyes, a juvenile starry sky behemoth was an independent existence, an opportunity, wealth, and prey worth capturing with all one's might. The Wanshin clan wouldn't be suspicious, they would only be delighted at the sight of such prey. Meanwhile, the Yan God race clone would be responsible for the frontal diversion. Astral rank 4 versus universe rank 1, the gap was enormous. But with the Mo Yun Vine King, the first form of the Yan God weapon, and the second layer of the domain of fire, stalling a universe rank 1 for a few minutes was not impossible. Don't forget, The Yan God race bloodline was originally a World Lord rank peak bloodline, with a defense claimed to be invincible among its rank. Although it was a human body, in terms of sheer strength, it was fully capable of sitting at the same table as the Golden Horned Beast. As for those astral rank 9 attendants, they would die if they came. Let's begin. At the edge of the asteroid belt, 4 winged drones had completed the first round of scanning, finding no anomalies. Report: the area ahead in the asteroid belt is safe. No energy fluctuations or life signs detected. Gu Li nodded, but still didn't relax his vigilance. Decelerate and maintain a high alert formation. Migu, you take the flagship into the asteroid belt first, our 2 frigates will bring up the rear. Understood. Migu's voice came through the communicator. The 3 warships slowly entered the asteroid belt. The flagship led the way at the front, with the 2 frigates following behind, maintaining a distance of 100,000 kilometers. Gu Li stood on the bridge of the frigate, his gaze scanning back and forth between the star map and the external displays. His mind was still uneasy, but everything seemed normal. Could it really be his imagination? Thinking about it, the pressure was probably just a bit high. After all, this involved the race's future, and with the secrecy work in place, the opponent couldn't possibly know. Furthermore, this area was a somewhat remote sector without any particularly strong powers. Gu Li comforted himself in this manner. Just then, a loud boom came from behind, not an explosion, but the sound of some massive object bursting out from the meteorites. Gu Li snapped his head around. In the external display, a pitch-black behemoth charged out from inside a meteorite 100 kilometers in diameter, its linjaw shimmering with a metallic luster under the starlight. It was over 60 meters long, with a spiral golden horn growing on its forehead and a pair of golden vertical pupils coldly scanning the 2 frigates. A starry sky behemoth. It's a fucking golden horned beast. Yu Quan's voice suddenly changed pitch, extremely excited. Gu Li's pupils dilated sharply. The golden horned beast, one of the 12 peak bloodlines of the starry sky behemoth, reaches World Lord rank upon adulthood. Even undying powerhouses rarely encounter one. Yet they had actually run into one. A juvenile golden horned beast's value was immeasurable. If they could capture it. So that was it. The reason for his unease was this: it was a sign to make a fortune. The harvest is even greater than this mission's. Yu Quan's eyes sparkled. Gu Li gnashed his teeth. Logic told him he should complete the mission first, but the temptation of the golden horned beast was too great. Moreover, could the appearance of the golden horned beast here be related to Elder Mo Shin's legacy? Migu. Gu Li pressed the communicator. You continue forward and stay alert. Yu Quan and I will try to capture this beast. We'll make it quick so as not to delay the mission. Received. Migu's voice carried a hint of hesitation, but he still obeyed the order. The flagship continued forward. 4 winged drones circled and stood guard around it. The 2 frigates turned around, closing in on the golden horned beast. The golden horned beast didn't flee. It hovered in the void realm, its golden vertical pupils staring at the 2 frigates, its tail swaying gently. In Gu Li's eyes, this was the ignorant provocation of a juvenile, but in Yan Ning's eyes, this was the signal that the bait had been taken. It's not running. Yu Quan frowned. A juvenile, it hasn't seen the world. Gu Li sneered. That makes things easier. Activate the capture nets, take it alive. Remember, don't injure it too severely. A dead starry sky behemoth isn't worth much. The bottom hatches of the 2 frigates opened, and 2 massive energy capture nets popped out, heading toward the golden horned beast to shroud it. This was equipment specifically used by the Wanshin clan to capture large prey, sufficient to trap an astral rank 9 opponent. The golden horned beast moved. It didn't dodge the capture nets, instead, it charged straight at them. Light converged on its golden horn. A beam of light shot out, blasting a large hole in one of the capture nets. Simultaneously, a faint golden glow appeared on its lin jaw, the golden horned beast's innate defensive secret technique. Although it was far from minor achievement, it was already enough to withstand attacks from the peak of astral rank 9. The capture net fell onto the golden horned beast, and with a flash of golden light, it snapped inch by inch. What? Gu Li's brow furrowed. This golden horned beast is at least astral rank 7, and has it cultivated a defensive innate secret technique. This isn't an ordinary juvenile, it's of the purest bloodline tier. Yuquan's eyes grew even brighter, then it's even more fucking valuable. The golden horned beast didn't give them any more time to think. It swayed its tail and fled deep into the asteroid belt, its speed neither fast nor slow, just enough for the 2 frigates to keep up. Pursue, Gu Li ordered. The 2 frigates accelerated, in hot pursuit. The golden horned beast wove between the meteorites, sometimes speeding up and sometimes slowing down. It wasn't that Gu Li hadn't been suspicious. Why didn't the golden horned beast escape? Why did it always slow down just when they were about to lose it? Maybe it's injured. Yuquan pointed at the data on the detector. Its life energy fluctuations are unstable, it might have been injured in a previous battle. Perhaps. Gu Li suppressed the doubts in his heart. But we can't pursue too deep. We'll chase for another 300,000 kilometers, if we can't catch it, we give up. Chapter 125, Slaying a Universe Rank from Below. 300,000 kilometers. Exactly on the edge of the orbital cannon's maximum range. The golden horned beast let out a wail, and its speed slowed down a bit more. Under the pincer attack of the 2 ships, a hideous wound appeared on its tail. It's injured. Speed up. Yuquan shouted excitedly. The engines of the 2 frigates were at full power, getting closer and closer to the golden horned beast. Gu Li's hand was already on the capture net's launch button, waiting only to enter the optimal range. Just then, the golden horned beast suddenly turned around, a cold light flashing in its golden vertical pupils. Warning signs surged wildly in Gu Li's heart. Something's wrong, retreat. But it was too late. From 100,000 kilometers away, a thick white beam of light tore through the asteroid belt, shooting forth at the speed of light. Wherever the beam passed, meteorites vaporized, dust splattered, and space itself seemed to be scorched with a hole. Gu Li only had time to see a flash of white light. And then, there was nothing left. The 2 frigates, along with Gu Li, Yuquan, and dozens of stellar level 9 elites on board, were instantly vaporized in the beam of the orbital cannon. As if they had never existed. One shot. A double kill of universe ranks. A blinding white light briefly lit up in the asteroid belt, then returned to silence. Only a passage cleared by the beam remained, with the meteorite cross-sections at the edges of the passage still in a molten state. Migu was checking the forward route on the bridge of the flagship when he suddenly felt something flash from the side. He turned his head. Through the porthole, he saw a white light streak past 3,000 kilometers away, and then the signals of the 2 frigates disappeared from the star map. Gu Li, Yuquan, please respond if you hear me. Migu pressed the communicator, but there was only harsh static. His pupils contracted sharply. 2 frigates, 2 universe level 1s, 64 stellar level 9s, just gone like that. Enemy attack. All ships on alert. Migu's voice changed pitch. The flagship's weapon systems activated, shields were at full power, and detection waves scanned frantically in all directions. But before the detection waves could cover that area, a golden figure had already rushed out from the asteroid belt. The golden horned beast. The state it displayed now showed no injury or even a hint of fatigue, those golden vertical pupils flickered with the cold light of a predator. Golden light flowed over its lin jaw. Domain of Gold Level 3 was fully deployed, and countless golden particles in the void realm converged into sharp sword lights. Migu's head buzzed. The golden horned beast was bait. Someone had deliberately set an ambush. Who could drive the golden horned beast? He didn't have time to think, because a second figure had already arrived. Black battle armor, with dark red flames burning all over his body. Domain of Fire Level 2 was fully deployed, and a scorching heat wave spread silently in the vacuum. 48 vines exploded from behind him, the Moyun Vine King, Star Level 8, with golden patterns on the vines flickering in the flames. Yan Ning, Stellar Level 4, Yan God Race Clone. Migu was panicked at first, then forced himself to steady and calm down. He was a universe level 1. No matter how strong the opponent was, they were only at the astral rank. Between stellar level 4 and universe level 1, there was a whole major realm difference. Even with the assistance of the golden horned beast and the cloud-caressing vine, they might not necessarily win. You're looking for death. Migu let out a roar, and the Wanshin race's innate secret technique was fully activated. Eerie green light shot from his eyes, directly hitting Yan Ning's sea of consciousness, an illusion, invincible among those of the same level. The light entered the center of Yan Ning's brow, and then, there was no fluctuation in Yan Ning's eyes, and his speed didn't slow down in the slightest. The soul core of the Yan God race was not something a universe level 1's illusion could shake. What? Migu was horrified. Yan Ning had already closed in. His right hand gripped the air, and golden particles converged frantically in his palm, compressing and solidifying. Yan God weapon first form, phantom sword style. 9 3-foot-long golden swords took shape in his palm. There was no reflection on the blades, only pure, extreme sharpness. With the addition of Domain of Fire Level 2, flames wrapped around the swords, gold and fire merged, doubling the power. A sword slashed down. Following closely was the Universe Rank Fist technique, Fire Fist first form, Red Dragon emerging from the sea. A pincer attack arrived in an instant. In a hurry, Migu raised his arm to block, and an energy shield condensed in front of him. The sword fell, the shield was like paper, and a wound deep enough to see the bone was left on his arm. The blood of a universe rank condensed into red ice crystals in the vacuum. How is this possible? Migu's eyes widened. A stellar level 4 injured him, a universe level 1, with a single sword. The golden horned beast pounced from the side, the beam from its golden horn sweeping across the flagship's engine. Explosions, flames, the flagship's propulsion system was paralyzed. The Mo Yun Vine King's vines took advantage of the opening, with 48 vines boring through the gaps in the damaged armor to strangle the stellar level 9 crew members inside. Screams rose and fell in the communication channel, then were extinguished one by one. Despair inevitably welled up in the depths of Migu's heart. Alone, he faced a stellar level 4 monster, a stellar level 7 golden horned beast, and a star level 8 Mo Yun Vine King. 3 against 1, and every single one of them had the damn ability to challenge. Those of higher levels. The golden horned beast, how could it join forces with a human? Migu's voice was hoarse. Who exactly are you? Yan Ning had no interest or time to answer the question of a dying man. The phantom sword style condensed again. This sword slashed toward Migu's head. Migu tried his best to dodge, but the golden horned beast's tail swept over, blocking his path of retreat. He was forced back to his original position and met Yan Ning's sword. The sword fell. The head flew off. Universe level 1, dead. The Mo Yun Vine King's vines inserted into Migu's corpse and began to greedily devour his life essence. Its star level 8 aura rose steadily, advancing toward the 9th level. Yan Ning withdrew the Yan God weapon and stood in the void realm, covered in blood, some of it his own, but more of it Migu's. His left arm had been broken by Migu's final strike, 3 ribs were broken, and there was internal bleeding in multiple places. The golden horned beast also had more than a dozen wounds on its body, its jaw shattered and blood dripping. More than a dozen of the Mo Yun Vine King's vines were broken and were slowly regenerating. A costly victory, but a great victory. Stellar level 4, slaying a universe level 1 from below. It wasn't by luck. It was by relying on the golden horned beast, the Mo Yun Vine King, the orbital cannon, the Yan God weapon, the Yan God race bloodline, the domain of fire, and the domain of gold. All trump cards were played, and every single one was used perfectly. Yan Ning floated in the void realm, looking at the 3 shipwrecks before him, and let out a long breath. Wanshin clan, this is just the interest. We'll settle the score later. The golden horned beast swam over, its golden vertical pupils looking at him, and let out a snort. The Mo Yun Vine King's vines retracted from the wreckage, holding several spatial rings and handing them to Yan Ning. Spoils of war. Yan Ning took the rings and probed them with his consciousness. Universe crystals, rare metals, energy crystals, secret technique manuals, the wealth accumulated by the 3 universe ranks of the Wanshin clan over many years. Although it wasn't much, it was still quite considerable. At least 30 to 40 billion Gamu coins. The strategic significance of this operation was greater than its economic value. This harvest was an unexpected surprise. Withdraw. Yan Ning took the golden horned beast into his internal world, the Mo Yunvine king shrank back into his collar, and the Yan god race clone, carrying his injuries, disappeared into the depths of the asteroid belt. Behind him, 3 shipwrecks floated in the void realm, silently telling the story of this unknown battle. Chapter 126, Settlement, An Unexpected Surprise. Deep within the asteroid belt, Yan Ning dragged his scarred body along, leading the golden horned beast and the Mo Yunvine king as they retreated from the battlefield. Right at that moment, a line of golden text emerged within his sea of consciousness. Open black lens bracket from branching out to family expansion. Every process will encounter difficulties. The development of things is never smooth sailing, but rather progress made through twists and turns. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You have resolved the first true crisis of the family through personal effort. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Reward obtained. Life fruit ×1. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The true winds and waves are still brewing. The young hero needs to endure hardships to blaze a trail for the future. Close black lens bracket. Yan Ning's consciousness paused slightly. After completing the branching out mission, the system had indeed begun to unlock more hidden functions. Milestone rewards were no longer limited to the birth of descendants. Family crises and major events would also trigger rewards. This time, although he had only resolved the immediate threat of 3 Universe Level 1 individuals and hadn't truly touched the root of the Wanxin clan's trouble, he had actually directly obtained a life fruit. Life fruit. Yan Ning saw the fruit within the system space. It was emerald green all over, with golden patterns flowing on its surface, emitting an incredibly dense life energy. This wasn't the green vine emerald fruit he had received before that could help the cloud-caressing vine break through its bloodline. This was a life fruit that could push plant-based life forms to an even higher level. Life fruits were top-tier energy crystals in the universe. Calling them a second life for a World Lord rank was no exaggeration. As long as a World Lord's soul was not extinguished, no matter how severe the injury, a single fruit could provide a full recovery. A pity I can't use it myself. If I were to force myself to consume it, I would instead explode and die. My life level is still far too low. Yan Ning shook his head. But he wasn't too disappointed. If he couldn't use it, he could give it to the cloud-caressing vine. After devouring a MIGU, the Mo Yunvine king would soon reach the peak of stellar level 9. He could use this life fruit to help it step into the universe rank. More crucially, Yan Ning's next plan was to participate in the Universe Apprentice Mercenary Assessment. The trial secret realm was full of dangers. With the support of a more powerful Mo Yunvine king, he could practically walk through it unchallenged. Just when he was getting sleepy, someone provided a pillow. This life fruit had come at just the right time. Mo Yun. Yan Ning called out to the Mo Yunvine king. The Mo Yunvine king's vines poked out from his collar. 48 vines swayed gently in the void realm, their golden patterns resembling flowing magma under the starlight. It sensed the aura of the life fruit, and all its vines began to tremble slightly. Master, is that for me? Who else would I give it to? Yan Ning took the life fruit out from the system space, and its emerald light illuminated the surrounding darkness. This life fruit is enough to bring you one step closer to becoming a Mo Yun sovereign. The Mo Yunvine king's vine suddenly tightened and then began to dance wildly. Happy, ecstasy, gratitude, and a hint of impatience came through its thoughts. I know you're eager, but don't be in such a hurry. Don't eat it now. Yan Ning pressed down on its vines. The Universe Apprentice Mercenary Assessment has strength limits. If you eat it now and break through to the universe rank, it might cause unnecessary complications. Wait until we are in the trial secret realm and I need your strength before you eat it. If you eat it now, you won't be able to fight during the breakthrough period, you'd be a burden instead. The Mo Yunvine king obediently shrank back into his collar, but that excited intent continued to echo in Yan Ning's consciousness. Not bad, everything is going smoothly so far. Universe Apprentice Mercenary Assessment, here I come. Yan Ning's figure flashed, and despite his injuries, he disappeared into the depths of the asteroid belt. Azure Star. Nanjong Base City. Yan Ning's original body woke up from his cultivation and glanced out the window. The morning light was faint, and the sounds of children playing came from the courtyard. He stood up, walked out of the training room, through the corridor, and into the backyard. A child of just over 6 years old was sitting cross-legged on the grass with his eyes closed. His small figure looked exceptionally quiet in the morning light. Little Yan Shu. He had perfectly inherited the appearance and genes of both parents, possessing an ethereal temperament. He was a complete little heartbreaker. Because of this, little Yan Shu had been quite troubled during kindergarten. Even though the parents of the female students around him came from extraordinary backgrounds, they still couldn't help but cling to him after seeing him. Either they would secretly kiss him when he wasn't paying attention, or they would pull on his little hand. Dealing with all sorts of girls made little Yan Shu endlessly annoyed. One day, a thought arose. While playing with building blocks at home, he had actually stepped directly into the apprentice level. Although it was fine for him to just grow up happily, after some consideration, Yan Ning decided to personally guide his cultivation, starting from the most basic foundational exercises. Yan Shu. Yan Ning walked over and sat cross-legged in front of his son. Yan Shu opened his eyes, and his pitch-black, bright pupils reflected his father's shadow. He didn't pounce on him to act spoiled like other children. Instead, he sat up straight with his hands on his knees, waiting for his father to speak. Today, I will teach you a blade technique. Yan Ning took out a miniature battle blade from his spatial ring. The blade was only as long as an adult's palm, and the hilt was just right for a child's hand. 9 ink fall blades. It was the first blade technique I learned. The entry barrier is low and it's easy to practice, but mastering it is not easy. Yan Shu took the battle blade, his small hand gripping it tightly, his gaze serious. First form, breaking flow. Yan Ning didn't draw his blade, he simply drew an arc in the air with his finger. The essence of concept is not power, but direction. No matter how fast the water flows, if you strike with a blade and find its veins, it will part on its own. Yan Shu stared at his father's finger without moving. You aren't going to ask me what concept is? Yan Ning was somewhat surprised. If father speaks, I listen. If I don't understand, I'll memorize it. Once memorized, I'll think about it slowly. Yan Shu was very serious. Yan Ning was silent for a moment, then smiled with gratification. As expected of my seed, just as smart and serious as his dad. Good, then I will only say it once. Yan Ning broke down the simplified version of the first form of the 9 ink fall blades into 9 movements, each coordinated with a breathing method. He didn't talk about profound laws, he just let Yan Shu remember the momentum. The direction, angle, and force of the strike, as well as that moment of viscosity when the blade edge sliced through the air. Yan Shu followed along once. His movements were stiff, but the directions were all correct. Remember this feeling, Yan Ning said. From now on, just practice it 100 times a day. 100 times. Yan Shu's eyes blinked. But in his heart, little Yan Shu thought, wouldn't 100 times be a bit too few? He felt the intensity wasn't quite enough. If he finished practicing too quickly, wouldn't he have to go back to kindergarten? He really didn't want to face those annoying female classmates. No way, absolutely not. I have to practice 1,000 times, 10,000 times. Yan Ning naturally didn't know what little Yan Shu was thinking. He stood up and patted his son's small head. The morning light spilled over the father and son. The sound of Yan Shi chasing Yan Yang and laughing came from the courtyard, and in the distance, Yan Qing was babbling. The other children were still small and hadn't reached the age of being rowdy yet, so Yan Ning could still enjoy a rare moment of peace for now. Looking at all this, a sense of groundedness welled up in Yan Ning's heart. Home, isn't it just these things? Chapter 127, Trainee Mercenary Assessment. 2 months later, Haiden Planet, Manor. Yan Ning's Yan God race clone had fully recovered, and the golden horned beast's injuries were also healed. Its aura was even a notch stronger than before the battle. Peak Stellar Level 7, only a step away from Level 8. After devouring a Mi Gu's universe rank flesh and blood, the Moyunvine King stood firmly at the peak of Stellar Level 8. Everything was ready. Yan Ning's consciousness accessed the virtual universe and opened the Universe Mercenary Alliance's assessment interface. Open black lens bracket Universe Trainee Mercenary Assessment close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket assessment location, Kaihuo star close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket assessment content. Complete designated tasks within the world within a world trial secret realm. Trainee mercenary qualification will be evaluated based on completion rate and performance. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket confirm registration. Close black lens bracket. Confirm. LV Luo's communication request popped up immediately. Hubby Yan Ning, you're going to take the trainee mercenary assessment. Take me with you. LV Luo's face appeared on the light screen, her eyes full of expectation. Yan Ning shook his head. No. Why? I'm at the 3rd level of the domain of wood, a special class elite, and no one below the astral rank is my match. I know that, of course. Yan Ning looked at her, his tone calm. But I am not, below the astral rank, and the place I'm going is more dangerous than you imagine. It's not a matter of strength, it's that I have some secrets that cannot be seen by others. LV Luo opened her mouth to say something, but looking into Yan Ning's calm eyes, she swallowed her words. She knew Yan Ning had signed a contract with the devil, and possessed many secrets, such as the heaven-defying, partner's heart, and so on. Any one of these things, if exposed, would attract covetousness. And the two of them, with their current strength, were not enough to protect them. I am stronger than you, whether it's day or night, you should know that. Yan Ning said the most indecent things in an extremely serious tone. LV Luo's face instantly flushed red. She thought of those nights, of Yan Ning's unfathomable intensity and tension. Every time she thought she had reached her limit, he would always show even more astonishing strength. In terms of cultivation, she was convinced. In terms of that, she was also convinced. Didn't the immortal Holy Land send you another invitation recently? Yan Ning continued to persuade her. That old lady quite admires you and is willing to teach you everything she knows. It's extremely compatible with your domain of wood. Going there is the most suitable choice. Coupled with your status as a special class elite contracted student of the Virtual Universe Corporation, you can make huge progress in a short time. In some ways, it might even be more effective than the results of cultivating with me. But, be good, listen to me. LV Luo bit her lip, remained silent for a moment, and then nodded gently. Then, when will you be back? A few months, half a year at most. Then you must be careful. That night, LV Luo and Yan Ning lingered in each other's arms for a long time. This separation could last for months. LV Luo thought of her former self, who did nothing but cultivate every day and had no interest in matters between men and women. She felt it was a waste of time, energy, and life. Since it was for reproduction, wasn't it better to just get it over with quickly? But now, she actually couldn't bear to let him go. LV Luo, oh LV Luo, you've really turned bad, she grumbled to herself in her heart. But her body was very honest. She hugged him tighter, burying her face in the crook of Yan Ning's neck, and said coquettishly in a muffled voice, hold me a little longer. Yan Ning didn't say anything, only tightening his arms around her. LV Luo closed her eyes, feeling the warmth. She suddenly felt that while becoming stronger was important, having someone to rely on besides that was also very important. Wait for me to come back. LV Luo sat for a long time, then opened the invitation from the immortal Holy Land and pressed, accept. Old lady, I'm coming to learn from you. The reply came quickly, girl, you've figured it out. Then I'll send someone to pick you up tomorrow. Thank you, Grandma. LV Luo turned off the light screen, leaned against the back of her chair, and looked at the ceiling. Hubby Yan Ning, you take care too. Kai Huo star. Yan Ning exited the jump and saw the planet through the porthole. It was several times larger than Haydn planet. The entire planet was shrouded in thick smoke and clouds, with dark red firelight occasionally peeking through the cloud layers. Unlike the ordinary atmospheric phenomena on Azure, the scene before him was caused by the never-ending eruptions of subterranean fire from within the planet. Wildfires, lava, pulsating ley lines. The entire planet was like a still beating heart, every pulse was accompanied by earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. It was rumored that this was the place where a World Lord rank powerhouse had fallen. When the World Lord fell, his internal world collapsed, and law fragments scattered, staining this originally ordinary planet into its current state. The subterranean fires hadn't gone out, and the smoke and clouds hadn't dissipated for tens of thousands of years. World within a world. A subspace formed after the collapse of a World Lord's internal world, overlapping with the real world. The Trial Secret Realm this time was located there. Yan Ning's spaceship landed at Kai Huo Star's only port. Huo City, a steel city built on the edge of a volcanic crater. The air was filled with the smell of sulfur and coke, and visibility was extremely low, but the port was no less busy than Haydn Planet. Yan Ning walked out of the spaceship, his psychic power spreading in all directions like a tide. On the massive plaza of the port, the densely packed crowd made him frown slightly. The auras of astral rank and universe rank experts intertwined, like a boiling ocean. The holographic screen displayed the real-time number of participants for this trial. The number flickered, 1,237,856 people. So many people. Yan Ning opened the local channel of the virtual universe and checked the assessment population statistics. Over 1.2 million astral rank martial artists, plus the universe rank leaders of each team, brought the total number to over 1.3 million. Since when did a single trainee mercenary assessment have so many astral ranks participating? After all, the mortality rate was not low. Yan Ning had previously checked historical data for the trainee mercenary assessment. Usually, the number of participants per session was between 100,000 and 300,000. 1.2 million was 4 to 6 times that. Something's not right. Yan Ning closed the statistics, his gaze sweeping across the large factions on the plaza with their distinct banners and orderly formations. The reserve team of the Chifeng mercenary group, over 5,000 people, all at stellar level 9, well equipped with sharp auras. The Iron Hand family, over 3,000 people, all at stellar level 8 or above, everyone was bare-handed, with iron-like calluses on their knuckles. The Void cult was small in number, only about 200 people, but each wore a black cloak and had an erratic aura. There were also many small and medium-sized factions whose names he didn't know, gathered in small groups and occupying their own areas. Yan Ning's gaze moved slowly through the crowd, finally spotting members of the Wanxin clan in an inconspicuous corner. Over 1,000 astral rank experts, with at least several hundred at stellar level 9, surrounded a few universe rank leaders, staying low-key in the corner. Beside them were several factions friendly with the Wanxin clan, chatting and laughing together, clearly an alliance formed in advance. It really is a small world, Wanxin clan. Hundreds of stellar level 9s. Perfect. In this world within a world, I can start collecting some interest. Chapter 128, Strolling Through Fire, A Storm of Blood. Yan Ning walked to an intelligence stall at the edge of the plaza. The stall owner was a thin, withered old man. Though he looked unremarkable, his strength was profound. He actually had the strength of Universe Level 1. A light screen was set up in front of him, scrolling through prices for various pieces of information. May I ask why there are so many people this time? Yan Ning got straight to the point. The old man looked up, glanced at him, and held up a finger, 100,000 Ganwu coins. Yan Ning transferred the money. The old man's expression softened slightly, and he lowered his voice. News has leaked recently that a legacy left behind by that fallen world lord has supposedly been discovered in the world within a world. It's not some ordinary law fragments like usual, but a real, complete world lord rank relic. The news started circulating 3 months ago. The source can't be traced, but it has already alerted several top powers in the Black Tan Mountain Star domain. That world lord has been dead for over 1,000,000 years. Logically speaking, this news is a bit fishy. The old man paused and continued. The Chifeng mercenary group, the Iron Hand family, the Void cult, these major powers that usually don't participate in trainee assessments have all sent people this time. You think they're here to get trainee mercenary qualifications? No, they're most likely here for the legacy. What about the Wanxin clan? Yan Ning asked. The old man gave him a meaningful look. the Wanxin clan has been making big moves lately. It's said someone in their race is about to break through to Domain Lord and is in desperate need of Domain Lord and World Lord rank resources. They've joined forces with several subordinate powers this time, sending about 1,000 people at the astral rank alone. They've truly invested heavily. Moreover, there seems to be some kind of understanding between them and the Chifeng mercenary group. Yan Ning nodded and didn't press further. News of a legacy, alliances between major powers, the massive mobilization of the Wanxin clan, all of this caused the difficulty of this assessment to skyrocket to S rank. But for Yan Ning, it definitely meant more opportunities. After all, it's easier to catch fish in muddy waters. Inside his internal world, the Mo Yun Vine King had already begun digesting the life fruit, and progress was going far more smoothly than Yan Ning had anticipated. When the time comes, with a universe rank Mo Yun Vine King in hand, as long as Yan Ning doesn't seek death in this world within a world, he can make a fortune just by mining universe crystals. The assessment notice popped up on the light screen. Open black lens bracket trial secret realm, world within a world close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket difficulty, S rank close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket mission objective, survive for at least 30 days within a world and collect at least 10 Huawu coins. Huawu coins are a specialty of the world within a world, obtained by killing native creatures, completing secret realm challenges, and exploring ruins. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Huawu coins can be traded or plundered. Death results in assessment failure, and any collected Huawu coins will belong to the victor. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket warning. Dangerous native creatures exist within a world. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket good luck close black lens bracket. Huawu coins were a specific token unique to the Lord Huwu world within a world. Yan Ning quickly searched his memory. Lord Huwu was the name of the core area of the World Lord's former cultivation site. Huawu coins were very likely the keys to entering that core area. The assessment required 10 coins per person, but those with true ambition would never be satisfied with just completing the mission. This is getting very interesting. Yan Ning withdrew his gaze, having already made his plans. Soon, the light of the teleportation array enveloped the entire plaza, and 1.3 million martial artists slowly disappeared within the glow. Yan Ning closed his eyes, feeling the brief dizziness brought by spatial teleportation. When he opened his eyes again, scorched earth was beneath his feet, and a dark red sky was overhead. The air was thick with the smell of sulfur and lava. On the distant horizon, a massive volcano was erupting, with rivers of molten lava snaking across the land. The Lord Huwu world within a world, he had arrived. His psychic power swept across the surroundings. Teleportation was random, there were no other figures within a 100-mile radius. But further away, countless auras were moving rapidly, like a pack of wolves released from their cages. 30 days, 10 Huawu coins. No rush. I'll find the Wanxin clan first. As for the Huawu coins, the Wanxin clan would naturally be responsible for helping Yan Ning obtain them. Yan Ning set off, speeding toward the direction of the volcano. The air in the Lord Huwu world within a world was scorching hot. Yan Ning took a deep breath, feeling the scent of sulfur and lava pour into his lungs. He narrowed his eyes slightly, somewhat enjoying it. For an ordinary astral rank, just breathing would be enough to burn their respiratory tract, requiring constant protection from original energy. But Yan Ning didn't need that. The physical body of the Yan god race was like a fish in water in this environment. High temperatures, toxic gases, radiation, to him, these were no different from soaking in a hot spring. This place is practically tailor-made for me. Yan Ning stretched his limbs, his bones letting out slight popping sounds. He tried clenching his fist, and the sheer strength of his physical body set off a muffled boom in the air. He could blow apart an ordinary stellar level 9 with a single punch. An ordinary genius might take 2 or 3 punches. Unless he was besieged by 1,000 or 10,000, Yan Ning could remain invincible. But I shouldn't be too arrogant. Yan Ning suppressed the eagerness in his heart. Among the over 1 million martial artists, most were grouped together. The Iron Hand family, the Chifeng mercenary group, the Void cult, as well as the Wanxin clan and their allies, all traveled in groups of hundreds or thousands. No matter how strong one person was, being attacked by dozens or hundreds of stellar level 9s would still lead to a disadvantage. Besides, if the opponent had some kind of trump card and he suffered a loss at a critical moment, the price would be his life. When Mo Yun finished devouring, that's when I'll harvest the resources. Yan Ning touched his collar. The Mo Yun Vine King was digesting the residual energy of the life fruit. Its 48 vines were violently writhing, expanding, exploding, and regenerating within his body in a continuous cycle. However, the golden patterns were becoming brighter and brighter. Once it breaks through to the universe rank, Yan Ning will have enough capital to go head-to-head with those major powers. At that time, the tables will turn. Yan Ning set off, walking toward the border zone. He wasn't in a hurry to go deep, he wanted to get a feel for the terrain first. He hadn't walked more than a few kilometers when the ground beneath his feet suddenly shook violently. The lava pool ahead suddenly exploded, and 3 gargantuan beasts lunged out from the fiery red molten rock, kicking up a shower of sparks. Flame fire beasts. They looked somewhat like bulls yet not bulls, somewhat like rabbits yet not rabbits. Their bodies were covered in dark red scales, and they had 2 curved horns on their heads. They were over 10 meters in size, and their forehooves trod upon the lava as if it were level ground. They were truly hideous, but their auras were powerful. At a glance, they were all at the peak of stellar level 9. Yan Ning frowned slightly. External records stated that the strength of flame fire beasts was between stellar level 6 and 9. These ones clearly exceeded the recorded upper limit. Yan Ning's psychic power swept the area. Deep within the lava pool, there were over a dozen more similar auras lurking. It seems the news of the World Lord's legacy isn't groundless after all, Yan Ning thought to himself. The abnormal strengthening of native creatures was often a sign of energy leaking from the core of a secret realm. If a World Lord rank relic really was appearing, it would explain why so many people were drawn here. Chapter 129, Mysterious Map. Obviously, Yan Ning had intruded into the Flame Fire Beast's territory. The Flame Fire Beast roared, its forehooves kicking the ground as it lunged at him. Its 10-meter-tall body was shrouded in magma and flames, crashing down like a meteorite. Yan Ning stood his ground. He thrust his right fist from his waist, a simple and unadorned straight punch. Pure physical body strength, combined with the innate fire affinity of the Yan god race bloodline. His fist collided with the Flame Fire Beast's head. The sound of bones cracking. The sound of Lin jaw shattering. Magma splattered everywhere. The 10-meter-tall giant beast was sent flying as if struck by a mountain, crashing back into the magma pool and kicking up fire waves dozens of meters high. It twitched twice and then stopped moving. Killed in one blow. Before the remaining dozen or so flame fire beasts could react, Yan Ning made quick work of them, punching them to death one by one. Phew, if it's only at this level of intensity, it's a bit underwhelming. Yan Ning withdrew his fist. He bent down to pick up the Huawu coins that had rolled out from the flame fire beast's corpse. Not bad luck. Yan Ning put the Huawu coins into his spatial ring, changed direction, and continued walking toward the boundary. Let him be as strong as he may, for the clear breeze blows over the hills. The gravity within a world was extremely strong, and psychic power was heavily restricted over a wide range, making even long-distance investigation impossible. Updating is not easy. Remember to share 101 Kanchu website. Coupled with the pervasive gray mist, unstable spatial rifts, and ground fires that could erupt at any time. These negative buffs were a fatal threat to ordinary astral ranks. Although they didn't affect Yan Ning much, he couldn't act recklessly. Caution is the parent of safety. He would first get a general understanding of the world within a world and map out the distribution of various forces before deciding on his next move. Yan Ning was very patient. Meanwhile, in another part of the Huowu pocket dimension, the Iron Hand family's assembly signal light flickered in the gray mist, and 3,000 members moved toward the signal source according to the predetermined plan. Their specially made battle armor could resist 90% of external environmental interference, allowing them to move freely in high temperatures and toxic gases. But the Huowu pocket dimension was too vast, so in this specific area, the number of assembled members was limited, about 10%. Report, 240 people have assembled. The adjutant's voice rang out on the communication channel. The second in command for this trip, the young master Tai Gushan, was a stellar level 9 peak with a burly, tower-like physique. Young master Tai Gushan nodded. The assembly rate was normal. As they advanced, the number would increase, so it wasn't a major concern. Teleportation into the Huowu pocket dimension was random. Some were sent to dangerous areas, and some were killed by native creatures. These were all expected losses. Just then, arguments could be heard from ahead. Young Master Tai Gushan walked over and saw several members of the Iron Hand family confronting another group of people. There were only a dozen or so people on the other side, wearing the standard battle armor of the Chifeng mercenary group, led by a stellar level 9 youth clutching 3 Huowu coins. We found these first. The youth from the Chifeng mercenary group had a grim expression. The Iron Hand family member sneered, "You found them first. Does it have your name written on it?" Seeing young Master Tai Gushan arrive, the youth from the Chifeng mercenary group hurriedly said, "Young Master, the Chifeng mercenary group and the Iron Hand family have always been on good terms." Young Master Tai Gushan ignored him and directly ordered, "Kill them. All, leave no one alive." The Chifeng mercenary group youth's face turned pale as he hurriedly said, "I'll give you all the Huowu coins, please leave us a way out, I beg you." Before he could finish his sentence, the members of the Iron Hand family swarmed forward. A dozen people against over 200, there was no suspense. The youth from the Chifeng mercenary group didn't even have time to send a distress signal before being overwhelmed by the crowd. 3 Huowu coins fell into young Master Tai Gushan's hand. He weighed them, put them into his ring, and scanned the surroundings. "Did anyone see? Vice Commander, over there." A member pointed into the distance, where a figure was faintly visible in the gray mist, rapidly fleeing. Young Master Tai Gushan's eyes turned cold. "Chase him down and silence him." Several speed-type members gave chase. After a moment, they returned to report, "Killed." He was a scout from a small family. He had a recording crystal on him, which has been destroyed. "Well done." Young Master Tai Gushan nodded and turned to continue advancing toward the core area. If they didn't kill them while they were alone, would they wait until they gathered and became harder to kill? Kindness now is cruelty to one's future self. Everyone had anticipated this. The Chifeng mercenary group wasn't exactly good, and of course, young Master Tai Gushan didn't consider himself a good person either. It was just that this time, luck seemed to be slightly more on his side. Similar scenes were playing out simultaneously in every corner of the world within a world. A small mercenary group discovered 3 Huowu coins while exploring an abandoned mine. Before they could celebrate, they were all killed by passing members of the Void Cult. The members of the Void Cult didn't even show their faces, they just extended a dozen black tentacles from the shadows, and all 30 people in the mine were turned into mummified corpses. A lone martial artist had excellent luck, killing 3 flame fire beasts in a row and collecting 4 Huowu coins. He was looking for a place to hide when he was blocked by a group of members from the Wanshin clan's subsidiary forces. The other side didn't give him any chance, directly launching an illusion that made him hand over the Huowu coins himself and then jump into the magma pool. Betrayal, backstabbing, ambushes, and group killings. Under the temptation of Huowu coins and the rumors of the World Lord's legacy, the darkest side of human nature was infinitely magnified. On the first day, nearly 100,000 of the 1.3 million martial artists died. Rivers of blood flowed, and corpses were strewn everywhere. On the other side, in an area where the gray mist was relatively thin, the Chifeng mercenary group had good luck. Their teleportation point was very close to the predetermined assembly site. Of the reserve force of over 5,000 people, more than 2,000 had assembled in less than half a day. They moved quickly through the gray mist and successfully met up with the forces of the Wanshin clan according to the pre-arranged signal. Over 100 stellar level 9s from the Wanshin clan had arrived, and with over 200 people from 3 subsidiary forces, their total strength exceeded 700. Combined with the 2,300 people from the Chifeng mercenary group, the two sides totaled 3,000 people, making them the largest alliance in the world within a world. Did you bring the map? The leader of the Chifeng mercenary group, team leader Kai Hu, was a stellar level 9 peak with a face full of scars. The leader of the Wanxin clan, team leader Mo Lin, was a stellar level 9 peak with a sinister expression. Team leader Mo Lin took out a yellowed beast skin map from his spatial ring and spread it out in front of everyone. This was found by the clan on a crashed spaceship. That spaceship had been drifting in the universe for an unknown number of years, and the crew inside had long since died. We originally thought it was just an ordinary interstellar navigation map, but later we discovered it highly matches the terrain of the Huowu pocket dimension. Team leader Kai Hu's gaze quickly swept over the map. The core area is here. Huowu, the entrance to the ruins. How can you be sure this is the map of the world within a world? It's been verified. Team leader Mo Lin pointed to several marked points on the map. We sent people into the world within a world during previous assessments to cross-reference these landmarks. The mountain ranges, the distribution of magma rivers, and even the locations of native creature nests are identical. Team leader Kai Hu was silent for a moment and then burst into laughter. Good. According to the original plan, your Wanxin clan will be responsible for scouting and illusion cover, while our Red Peak will be responsible for the frontal assault. Any legacy found will be split 50-50. Deal. The two teams merged and quickly advanced toward the core area under the guidance of the map. Chapter 130, Core Abnormalities. Yan Ning spent 3 days circling the peripheral areas. Most people were flocking toward the core region, so he didn't encounter too many people, mostly loose cultivators like himself. During this time, Yan Ning figured out several key pieces of information about the Huowu pocket dimension. First, the harshness of the environment far exceeded external records. The temperature of the magma pools, the toxicity of the gray mist, and the density of space rifts were all more than a level higher than in the past. For an ordinary astral rank practitioner here, maintaining survival alone would consume a large amount of original energy. Second, the strength of the native creatures had generally increased. It could be said that 80% of the flame fire beasts had entered stellar level 9. In the depths of the Huowu pocket dimension, there was a high probability that native species were evolving toward the universe rank. Third, psychic power was being heavily suppressed. In the outside world, his perception radius could cover 600 kilometers. Here, being able to cover 100 kilometers was considered good. But for me, none of these are problems. Yan Ning stood on the edge of a volcanic crater, overlooking the churning magma below. The physical body of the Yan god race bloodline was sufficient to endure it, with plenty of room to spare. Just then, a loud boom echoed from the distance. It was far beyond the level of a volcanic eruption or the surging of ley lines. It was the sound of the earth shattering. Yan Ning looked up toward the core region. In the dark red sky, a visible shockwave was spreading. Wherever the shockwave passed, the gray mist was torn open, and space rifts spread like spiderwebs. Immediately following that, a terrifying aura rose from that direction. Countless auras, densely packed, lit up like a cluster of stars. A massive number of flame fire beasts were gathering frantically. Looking as far as the eye could see, there were thousands of them. Their auras intertwined, resonated, and climbed within the gray mist. Yan Ning's pupils contracted slightly. Speak of the devil, did one really break through to the universe rank? This is a bit problematic. The mutation in the core region was still continuing, but Yan Ning was in no hurry to move. He stood on the edge of the crater, his gaze fixed on the spreading shockwave in the distant dark red sky, his mind quickly calculating. Should I circle the periphery a bit more to see if I can dig up some universe crystals? The moment this thought popped up, a violent fluctuation came from his internal world. Within the internal space of the golden horned beast, the Muyun Vine King was constantly splitting and expanding. 48 main vines danced wildly, their golden patterns flashing. The residual energy of the life fruit surged through the vines, pushing it to strike the bottleneck again and again. Boom! The 48 main vines transformed into 72 vines. All 72 vines exploded outward simultaneously, stretching frantically into the void. Each one was hundreds of kilometers long. Their surfaces were covered in dark gold scale-like patterns, and their tips split into countless tiny tentacles, greedily devouring all surrounding energy. Universe rank. A scorching airwave carrying golden light spread in all directions, causing the edge of the crater beneath his feet to crumble inch by inch. The magma was pressed down by the aura, forming a massive bowl-shaped pit. The escaping aura was like a heavy hammer, smashing deep into the underground. The flame fire beasts lurking in the magma were dazed by the shock, rolling out of their hiding places one after another, bellies up, fainting on the ground. Dozens of stellar level 9 native creatures were directly knocked unconscious by this aura. Mo Yun. Yan Ning pressed his hand to his collar, feeling that this trip to the Huowu pocket dimension was finally completely secure. A universe rank plant lifeform is simply invincible. Even if this space was filled with high temperatures, toxic mists, and magma that could easily melt through the astral rank. The Mo Yun Vine King's divine thought came through, carrying uncontrollable ecstasy. Master. Universe rank. I've reached the universe rank. It's not over yet. Yan Ning sensed the energy still churning within it, the energy of the life fruit is still being digested. You can take another step forward. Don't rush, stabilize your foundation. There will be plenty of life fruits in the future. Don't embarrass me, it's just the universe rank, isn't it? Understood. By the way, when you took the green vine emerald fruit before, didn't you say there was a chance to awaken the abilities of other plant lifeforms? Why hasn't there been any movement? Just a little bit more. Mo Yun still needs a little more time. After the Mo Yun Vine King finished speaking, it obediently restrained its aura, and the 72 vines retracted into the internal space. But that pressure belonging to the universe rank still made creatures within a radius of several kilometers tremble in fear. It seemed it really could awaken the bloodline talent abilities of other plant lifeforms. Yan Ning took a deep breath, suppressing the excitement in his heart. A universe rank mutated Mo Yun Vine King, combined with the golden horned beast and the third level of the domain of gold, plus the Yan God weapon's phantom sword style. In this trainee mercenary assessment, he now had the capital to walk over anyone. Yan Ning was just about to move toward the core region when suddenly, a deafening roar came from the distance. The earth seemed to be groaning. In the direction of the core region, ley lines surged and magma erupted. Dozens, even hundreds, of volcanoes reaching into the clouds split open simultaneously. Dark red magma pillars shot into the sky, dyeing the gray mist blood red. Within the erupting magma, countless tiny crystals shimmering with dark red light were mixed in. They traced arcs across the sky, scattering into every corner of the world within a world. Universe crystals. Yan Ning's pupils shrank violently. 1 cubic unit of universe crystals was equal to 1,000 universe coins. And 1 universe coin converted into Ganwu coins was approximately equal to 3,300. 1 cubic unit of universe crystals was equal to 3.3 million Ganwu coins. Money, all of this is money. As expected, the mutation in the core region triggered some kind of switch, Yan Ning murmured to himself. Those native beasts breaking through to the universe rank caused the ley lines to surge, bringing up the universe crystals buried deep within the Huowu pocket dimension. Yan Ning was about to act when his gaze was drawn to a scene not far away. By a magma river, a lone astral rank 3 martial artist crouched behind a charred rock, staring intently at the churning magma ahead. His mocha armor was tattered, and there were several burns on his body. He had clearly escaped from the core region. But at this moment, there was no fear in Mocha's eyes, only greed. In the magma, several dark red crystals rose and fell with the waves, their seductive light flickering in the gray mist. Universe crystals, they really are universe crystals. His voice was trembling. Mocha knew the core region was extremely dangerous, with those large factions huddling in groups of thousands. Him going in alone would be seeking death. But this wasn't the core region, it was just the periphery. Although there were stellar level 9 native beasts around, if he was careful, he might be able to succeed. Some things are destined to offer only one chance. If he missed it because of hesitation or fear of death, he didn't know when the next time would be. Passing the assessment with 10 Huowu coins and barely obtaining the qualification of a universe apprentice mercenary wouldn't change his fate. But universe crystals were different. Even if he only got 1 cubic unit and exchanged it for resources, it would be enough for him to cultivate for a long time. The key was that the universe crystals before him were at least dozens of units. Life and death are determined by fate, wealth and honor are in the hands of heaven. Mocha gritted his teeth, took a deep breath, and suddenly lunged from behind the rock, rushing toward the bank of the magma river. His speed wasn't slow, his astral rank 3 explosive power reaching its limit in an instant. 10 meters, 8 meters, 5 meters. He reached out his hand, his fingertips almost touching the nearest universe crystal. The magma exploded. A stellar level 9 flame fire beast lunged out of the river, opening its maw full of fangs and swallowing him in one bite. There wasn't even a scream, and not even a scrap was left behind. The surface of the magma river returned to calm. The universe crystals continued to rise and fall in the waves, as if nothing had ever happened. Chapter 131, Universe crystals are precious, but life is worth more. Ning stood on the edge of a distant volcanic crater, witnessing this scene. From the flame fire beast lunging out to the person's disappearance, it took less than half a second. Even if Ning had the heart to help, he was powerless, there simply wasn't enough time. He felt a trace of compassion, but it had to be built upon his own absolute safety. Universe crystals are precious, but life is worth more. Ning shook his head and turned to leave. To Ning, digging for a dozen or so cubic meters of universe crystals wasn't worth the effort, he needed to find a major deposit. Ning didn't have many sentimental thoughts. It was said that the same thing could serve different purposes for different people. What I can discard at will is something that could change your fate and be heaven-defying. Such scenes were constantly playing out within the Huowu pocket dimension. Someone snuck an attack on a companion for a single Huowu coin, only to be killed in return. Someone ventured deep into a dangerous area for a single universe crystal and was devoured by a native beast. Someone finally managed to collect enough Huowu coins, only to be stabbed in the back by an ally the very next moment. 1,300,000 people entered, nearly 100,000 died on the first day, and on the second day, the third day, thousands died every single day. Human lives were like mayflies, born in the morning and dead by dusk. On the scorched earth of the world within a world, corpses piled up like mountains, and blood flowed into the magma, becoming part of the gray mist. No one would remember their names. Ning wandered through the peripheral areas, searching for traces of universe crystals. He didn't venture deep into the core zone. It was currently the most chaotic place, with large factions of over 1,000 people crushing one another and universe-rank native beasts roaming everywhere. No rush, let them wear each other down first. While passing by a magma pool, Ning stopped in his tracks. Looking out, over 100 corpses were scattered across the scorched ground. Judging by their wounds, they had been controlled by illusions before falling into the fire vein and burning to death. Beside the corpses, a dozen or so people were rummaging through the spoils of war. Wanxin clan. A squad that hadn't finished assembling yet, about 30 people, every one of them at stellar level 9. They had been dominating this area for quite a while. With their illusion talent, any opponent who let down their guard even slightly would fall into a dreamscape and walk into the magma themselves. We've already dug up nearly 100 cubic meters from this universe crystal vein. A member of the Wanxin clan weighed the spatial bag in his hand, his tone smug. Low risk, high reward, it's much better than risking our lives in the core zone. The leader said there's no rush to regroup. Now that the universe crystals have appeared, let the major factions fight over them while we make a fortune in silence. Those people just now were carrying 7 Huowu coins. Adding those to what we had before, our squad has already gathered enough for the assessment quota. Everyone laughed. They were just about to continue scouting the surrounding veins. Just then, the sound of footsteps approached from the gray mist, mingling with the roar of erupting flames. Ning stepped out from the smoke, revealing himself. "Leave the things, and stay behind yourselves," Ning said. The Wanxin clan members were first stunned by these nonsensical words, then burst into uproarious laughter. They were all at stellar level 9. A whole damn group of them. One person, at stellar level 4, a member of the Wanxin clan laughed so hard he doubled over. "Do you know who we are?" The Wanshin clan. 30 stellar level 9s. You want to keep us here all by yourself? Boss, is there something wrong with this guy's head? Stop wasting time. Finish this quickly. Use illusions and make him jump into the magma himself. The leader of the Wanshin clan squad stopped smiling, his gaze turning cold. All 30 people activated their innate secret technique simultaneously. Eerie green light shot toward Yan Ning from all directions, submerging his sea of consciousness. The light dissipated. Yan Ning stood where he was, his eyes showing no fluctuation. He didn't even blink. What? The leader's pupils suddenly constricted. Yan Ning flickered into motion. He didn't use the domain of fire, the unarmored secret method, or even the domain of gold. It was pure physical body speed. With one step, the dozens of meters between them seemed non-existent. His right fist thrust out from his side, simple and unadorned. For the first Wanshin clan member, the fist landed squarely on his chest. Bone-cracking sounds rang out clearly as the person flew backward, turning into a spray of blood in midair. The second one tried to turn and run. Yan Ning's fist caught up to the back of his head, another spray of blood. The third one tried to condense an energy shield, the fist arrived, the shield was like paper, and the man shattered. The fourth, the fifth, the sixth. One punch, one kill. No one could survive a second punch, no one could dodge, and no one could block. The Wanshin clan's illusions were ineffective against him, their speed couldn't keep up with him, and their strength couldn't stop him. 30 stellar level 9s were like 30 paper dolls in front of Yan Ning. The leader was the last one. He trembled, his voice hoarse. Why would you? There aren't many whys. Yan Ning withdrew his fist and looked at him. It's the same logic you used to trap and kill others. You have universe crystals, and I happen to need them. It's that simple. One punch. Annihilation. All 30 Wanshin clan members, along with the universe crystals and Huawu coins they had plundered, became Yan Ning's spoils of war. Yan Ning put away the spatial ring and probed it with his consciousness. Over 100 cubic meters of universe crystals, combined with what he had collected sporadically before, brought the total to nearly 2,000 cubic meters. 2,000 cubic meters of universe crystals, over 6 billion Ganwu coins in the bag. Robbing others really is the fastest way to make money. What's that saying? When the neighbor hoards grain and I hoard guns, the neighbor is my granary. Yan Ning put the spatial bag into his ring and turned to disappear into the gray mist. His next goal was relatively clear. The ones I'm robbing are exactly you, the Wanshin clan. The edge of the core zone. The Iron Hand family's temporary camp. Young Master Tai Gushan stood in the center of the camp, his gaze sweeping over the restless members around him. News of the universe crystal's appearance had spread throughout the world within a world, although the people of the Iron Hand family were following the main force. But seeing those loose cultivators and small factions in the periphery striking it rich overnight by picking up universe crystals, they naturally felt restless. Vice Commander, when are we going to dig for universe crystals? One member couldn't help but ask. Young Master Tai Gushan gave him a cold look. The mission in the core zone isn't finished yet. No one is allowed to act on their own. But, no, buts. Young Master Tai Gushan's voice was as cold as iron. The legacy in the core zone is worth 10,000 times more than those scattered universe crystals. If you go digging for crystals now, not only might you lose your lives, but you'll also ruin the family's grand plan. Anyone who mentions it again will be punished by family law. The camp fell silent. But that restlessness was merely suppressed, not dispelled. Easy for him to say. Passing up the obvious profits of these universe crystals to just stay and guard the camp, what a joke. The same scene was playing out in the Chifeng mercenary group's camp. Team leader Kai Hu's methods were more direct. In front of everyone, he broke the legs of a member who tried to sneak out to dig for universe crystals. He then wrapped the wounds with a Huawu specialty, Huawu thorns, to prevent them from healing and to make the person suffer the agony of fire poison. Then he hung the man at the camp entrance as a public warning. Anyone who wants to end up like him, feel free to go. The disturbance subsided for the moment. But both young Master Tai Gushan and team leader Kai Hu knew that this suppression wouldn't last long. The temptation of the universe crystals was too great, and the temptation of the legacy was even greater. Once the core zone's treasure trove opened, the real slaughter would have only just begun. Chapter 132, Here is Everything I Have. Huowu Pocket Dimension, Core Area. The earth cracked open. The entire land seemed to have been pried apart from the middle by an invisible giant hand, and magma erupted from the depths of the earth, converging, rotating, and rising along some mysterious trajectory. Magma was rising. Flames were condensing. A flower was blooming. The petals were pure lava flows, each one dozens of kilometers long, rising from the depths of the earth and shooting straight into the clouds. The edges of the petals flowed with golden red light, while the center was a deep, almost black dark red. A flower of fire. Covering thousands of kilometers, hundreds of kilometers high, one could not see the top at a glance. Purely scorching. Absolutely violent. Magma flowed on the surface of the petals like the blood of a living thing. From the gaps between the petals, a pressure emanated that made even the souls of astral rank beings tremble. That was the residual aura of a world lord. Undying for 1,000,000 years. The flame fire beasts went completely crazy. From every corner of the core area, from magma pools, underground caves, and the depths of volcanoes, countless flame fire beasts crawled out, rushing towards the flower of fire at all costs. Densely packed. Millions of them, covering the sky and earth. There was no fear in their eyes, only crazy longing. There lay the final hope for their advancement, the key to escaping this realm that had trapped them for 1,000,000 years. But the flower of fire shut them out. The petals closed, and the magma solidified into an impassable wall. A flame fire beast slammed into it and instantly vaporized, without even a scream. A phantom appeared. Above the flower of fire, space twisted, and a magnificent figure walked out from the void. 4 sharp horns on its head, 4 arms, over 100 meters tall, its whole body covered in dark red scales. Although it was a phantom, that pressure was like substance, making everyone and every beast within 1,000 miles unable to breathe. The Huowu World Lord, a top powerhouse who was only one step away from undying 1,000,000 years ago. Its 4 arms spread open, as if embracing, or perhaps cursing. Here is everything I have. The voice was like thunder, spreading to every corner of the world within a world. Life fruit, universe crystal, force weapons, top secret techniques. They are all here. If you want them, come and take them. Before the words finished, the voice suddenly became ferocious, the phantom's face twisted, and its 4 arms waved wildly. My rage, my resentment. Whoever inherits my everything shall inherit everything of mine, and avenge me. Gray light, gray light, gray light. You deserve to die. You deserve to die. The final roar shattered all rocks within 100 miles. The phantom shattered, turning into countless light spots and scattering. But that resentment still echoed in the air. Silence. A brief silence. Then, the entire world within a world exploded. All the factions still watching from the periphery, all the loose cultivators still hesitating, everyone fell into complete madness. The World Lord's legacy. That wasn't some scattered universe crystal, not ordinary law fragments. It was a complete, true World Lord legacy. And, judging by that, there was no need for any complicated trials, just kill the flame fire beasts. Immediately following, in the high-temperature scorching air, a line of golden text appeared. Open black lens bracket kill this bunch of damn stupid flame fire beasts, the first 10,000, enter my legacy flower, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket countdown, 240h close black lens bracket. 10 days later, the top 10,000 would enter the place of the legacy. The rules were simple and brutal. But someone immediately thought of a problem: how are points calculated? Does it only count if you kill them yourself, or can you steal them? Soon, smart people experimented. A loose cultivator brought 2 slaves. He had his slaves kill a flame fire beast and saw no points displayed above his own head, but when he killed that slave, the point number immediately jumped out. Kills by others can be inherited. Killing people is faster than killing flame fire beasts. This information spread like a virus in the world within a world, and the number of flame fire beasts killed began to appear above everyone's head. and everyone's gaze towards others began to shift. Before, they were potential allies. Now, they were walking points. Damn it, this rule is just to make people kill each other. Young Master Tai Gushan looked at the zero appearing above his head and cursed, but there was no anger in his eyes, only vigilance. He now had to guard not only against outsiders but also his own people. Pass the order down, no one is allowed to leave the team without authorization, and no one is to act alone. Whoever dares to move against their own people, I will peel their skin myself. The order was passed down, but young Master Tai Gushan knew this was just a stopgap measure. There were still 10 days left in the countdown. In 10 days, anything could happen. Chifeng Mercenary Group Camp. Team leader Kai Hu stared at the zero above his head and chuckled softly. Interesting. He licked his lips. The top 10,000 enter the legacy place, then we will take the top 10,000. Everyone listen to the order, split into groups of 100 and scatter to hunt flame fire beasts. But remember, if you see others alone, kill them while you're at it, you can never have too many points. Also, temporarily slow down cooperation with the Wanshin clan. On the surface, continue to cooperate to find the map coordinates. If it's real, it's not a loss, but if it's the same as the Huawu World Lord's legacy location, then kill them first. Be careful not to alert the enemy. Understood. Clearly, even if the map brought by the Wanshin clan was indeed marked, in a situation where everyone was in danger, reducing competitors was also one of the ways to enter the top 10,000. Void Cult. The shadow stood in the center of the camp, the expression under his black cloak unclear. But the point number above his head was jumping. No flame fire beast died nearby, yet the number was rising. The believers around him fell one by one, their bodies turning into dried corpses, and the points were transferred to the shadow. No one spoke, because the dead cannot speak. And no one resisted, because this was the damn rule of the Void Cult. Wanshin clan camp. Team leader Mo Lin's brows were deeply furrowed. It wasn't because the rules were too cruel, he wished it were even more cruel. The illusion techniques of the Wanshin clan had too much of an advantage in chaotic battles, and fishing in troubled waters was too simple. So, does the mark on the map actually exist? People's hearts were changing. Facing the legacy of a top powerhouse at the peak World Lord level, only one step away from undying, no faction present could refuse. What were so-called unbreakable, life and death alliances worth? In the end, it was just that the benefits weren't enough. Pass the order, be careful of the Chifeng mercenary group's people, find a suitable opportunity to stab them in the back and kill them. Yes. The hunting became more and more crazy. Countless flame fire beasts fell, and countless people fell with them. Some stabbed their allies in the back to snatch a flame fire beast. Some took advantage of their companions' injuries to steal their points, then pushed them into the magma. Some pretended to be unable to defeat a flame fire beast, luring others to rescue them, and then killed them in return. Whatever brotherly love, whatever ally friendship, in the face of points, it was worthless. Every day, thousands of people died. Corpses piled up on the scorched earth, trampled by those who came later, swallowed by magma, and buried by gray mist. No one would remember their names. Because tomorrow, the one who dies will be you. Chapter 133, Star-Eating Grass Bloodline. Mo Yun takes a step further. The news of the World Lord legacy had already spread throughout the entire world within a world. The flame flower, the top 10,000, a 10-day countdown, these terms burned in everyone's minds. Ning stood at the edge of the volcanic crater, watching the flashes of fire that occasionally flickered in the gray mist and listening to the sounds of slaughter coming from the distance. World Lord legacy. Revenge. Inheriting a legacy. Ning frowned slightly. This was going to set off a bloodbath, and he wouldn't be able to stay out of it either. Just then, a violent fluctuation suddenly came from his internal world. The Mo Yun Vine King was restless. 72 vines extended wildly within the internal world, each hundreds of kilometers long, with golden patterns flowing across them. The surface of the vines began to crack, and the dark golden old skin peeled off, revealing the silvery white new substance underneath. On the new substance, spiral patterns faintly emerged. Star-eating grass. That was the unique bloodline mark of the star-eating grass. The Mo Yunvine King's aura climbed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Universe Level 1, Level 1 Middle Stage, Level 1 Late Stage, until it barely stabilized at Level 1 Peak. But what was truly terrifying wasn't the strength of the aura, but the qualitative change. Open black lens bracket Mo Yunvine King close black lens bracket. Bloodline mutation, evolving to possess the bloodline abilities of the star-eating grass. With two types of abilities combined in one body, resistance to external anomalies has been significantly increased. Current strength. Universe Level 1 can match Universe Level 6. Immune to all physical attacks below Universe Level 3. Possesses mimicry ability. Yan Ning couldn't help but smile. Now I really have it. The star-eating grass was the universally recognized devourer of the universe. Its lethality was unmatched among its peers, and its ability to adapt to extreme environments was almost perverse. And what the Mo Yunvine excelled at most was regeneration and splitting. Two abilities combined in one body. Offense and defense in one, pushed to the extreme. Yan Ning reached out his hand, and a vine peeked out from his collar. The spiral patterns on the surface of the silvery white vine shifted, making it almost transparent in the gray mist. Mimicry ability, merging with the environment. Go. The vine silently probed into the gray mist. In the distance, 3 stellar level 9 flame fire beasts were wandering by the lava river. They didn't even notice the arrival of danger before the silvery white vines had already wrapped around their necks. Titan. Absorb. In less than 3 breaths, the 3 flame fire beasts turned into mummified corpses, and the points jumped by 3 notches. The vine retracted without leaving a trace. This was only the beginning. Despite the fierce fighting, as long as one hid well, their points would only spread within a small circle and wouldn't reach the point where everyone knew. Based on this, it also provided a lot of room for manipulation for many individual contestants or forces. But everything changed on the third day. The third day. The moment the point rankings appeared, the air in the Huowu pocket dimension suddenly froze. A light screen appeared in front of everyone, with 200,000 names listed densely on it. The names at the top of the rankings were highlighted specially, gold, purple, crimson, like striking targets in the gray mist. For the top 10,000, the names were pale gold. For the top 1,000, the names were reddish gold. For the top 100, the names were violet gold, their light so intense it almost pierced the gray mist. For the top 10, the names were dark gold, flowing slowly in everyone's field of vision. And the first place. Yan Ning. Those 2 words were like a sharp sword hanging over everyone's heads. Score. 1482. While the second place, Mo Tongla, was only at 261. Chifeng Mercenary Group Camp. Team leader Kai Hu stared at the name in his vision, his fists clenching until they cracked. Yan Ning. Which force is he from? Team leader Kai Hu simply couldn't imagine that a single person could kill more than 1,400 stellar level 9 flame fire beasts in just 3 days. Even if they had been prepared, killing a single stellar level 9 flame fire beast was by no means an easy feat. Fire poison, fierce flames, high temperatures, molten lava, and so on would all have a serious impact on one's actions. The adjutant quickly searched the local database and then shook his head. Can't find him. He's not a core disciple of any major force, nor is he on the list of known geniuses. A loose cultivator. Team leader Kai Hu's brow furrowed into a knot. He doesn't seem like a pure loose cultivator. His registration information shows he's from an unknown star domain in the Haitian Empire. Silence fell over the camp. Among the more than 3,000 members of the Chifeng Mercenary Group reserve team, even the strongest few were only ranked in the top 500. Team leader Kai Hu himself was in 326th place. And the other party, alone, was ranked first. Could it be good luck? Did he find some shortcut to farm points? Someone whispered. Team leader Kai Hu gave him a cold look. Why don't you go try? See if you can be lucky enough to kill over 1,400 flame fire beasts. The man decisively shut his mouth. Flame fire beasts weren't fools, they wouldn't just stand there and let someone kill them. Every flame fire beast was equivalent to a stellar level 9 martial artist. They had intelligence, tactics, would flee, and would call for help. Killing one wasn't hard, killing 10 required strength, and killing 100 required overwhelming strength. Killing over 1400. Team leader Kai, who didn't dare think further. Pass down the order, do not provoke that person. Named Yan Ning for the time being, team leader Kai, who finally commanded. Once we get the World Lord legacy, we'll deal with him. Iron Hand Family Camp. Young Master Tai Gushan stared at that name and remained silent for a long time. Deputy Commander, should we send someone to contact him? If we could recruit someone like this, the adjutant said tentatively. Recruit. Young Master Tai Gushan gave a cold laugh. Who do you think he is? Ranked first with over 1400 kills. A person like this is either a core disciple of some undying power hiding their identity to gain experience, or a monster with heaven-defying opportunity. What kind of chips do you think we can offer to recruit him? The adjutant was speechless. Pass down the order. If you encounter this person, keep your distance. Young Master Tai Gushan's voice was very calm. But everyone could hear the wariness in it. He is not our target. Our target is the World Lord legacy. We just need to ensure we enter the top 1000 as much as possible. After a pause, he added, tell the people below to behave themselves and not be blind enough to provoke him. Whoever causes trouble deals with it themselves, the family will not collect their corpse. Void Cult Camp. Under a black cloak, a raspy voice rang out. Yan Ning, interesting. The speaker was the true leader of the Void Cult on this trip, a mysterious figure codenamed Shadow. No one knew his true face, or even if he was male or female. Cult leader, should we? The believer beside him made a throat-slitting gesture. No. Shadow shook his head. There are things about this person I cannot see through. The cost of provoking him would be too high. The believer was stunned. Lord Shadow actually used the words, the cost would be too high. But, the believer hesitated for a moment. The Wanshin clan side seems to have an old grudge with this person. Several Wanshin clan squads were wiped out by him before. Shadow was silent for a moment before letting out a meaningful chuckle. Then let them go and test the waters. Tell team leader Mo Lin that the Void Cult can provide him with intelligence support, but we will not participate in a direct conflict. Yes. Chapter 134, We are allies. Allies. Wanshin clan camp. Team leader Mo Lin's face was ashen. As the leader of the Wanshin clan for this trip, he knew better than anyone what that name meant. Disaster. My lord, we have confirmed it. At least 5 squads, 412 clansmen, have died at the hands of Yan Ning. The subordinate's voice was trembling. Adding the previous losses, the Wanshin clan has lost over 500 elites to Yan Ning. Team leader Mo Lin closed his eyes and took a deep breath. 500 elites. Although the Wanshin clan was a universe rank power, it could not withstand such attrition. What was even more terrifying was that the opponent was only one person. And, just like them, he was only at the astral rank. At most, he was at the stellar level 9 peak. With the same realm, the gap in strength was so vast that this alone allowed one to glimpse a mere tip of the iceberg of the opponent's power. So, how terrifying and exaggerated must the iceberg hidden beneath the surface be? A long time passed. Team leader Mo Lin opened his eyes, which were filled with bloodshot veins. He is not human, he is a devil. My lord, what should we do? Should we ask the Chifeng mercenary group for help? Ask for help. Team leader Mo Lin gave a miserable laugh. That man team leader Kai Hu, do you expect him to risk his life for us? He would love nothing more than for us and Yan Ning to both suffer losses so he can reap the benefits. Then, everyone thinks we will avoid his sharp edge, but we will take action ourselves. Team leader Mo Lin's voice turned cold. No matter how strong he is only one person. We still have 300 clansmen, plus 500 from our affiliated forces. 800 against 1, we'll wear him down until he dies. If we kill him, our Wanshin clan's points will definitely reach the top. But those previous squads, that was because he caught us off guard. It's different now. We know he's here, we know what he looks like, and we know his trump cards. We will prepare in advance and set a trap. I don't believe a single astral rank can turn the world upside down. 101kanshu.com, convenient, all hand-typed, error-free. Remember, no matter how strong he is just an astral rank. Don't you fucking boost the enemy's morale while undermining our own. Say another word, and I'll chop you down. The subordinate nodded hastily and lowered his head, not daring to say more. Team leader Mo Lin's bloodshot eyes were truly frightening. At the same time, on the edge of the Wanshin clan camp, in an inconspicuous corner, two young men crouched behind a charred rock, talking in low voices. Did you hear? Lord Mo Lin is going to move against that Yan Ning. Of course I heard, his voice was so loud. But I always feel, something's not right. What do you mean? I can tell with my ass that a ruthless man who killed over 1,000 flame fire beasts in just a few days isn't someone we can mess with. But that madman Mo Lin wants us to go. The two looked at each other, both seeing fear in the other's eyes. Should we find a chance to run? If we fail the assessment, we can just try again next time. It's better than losing our lives. Run. Where to? You know Lord Mo Lin's methods, being caught is worse than death. Then what? Let's hope that Yan Ning is quick about it and doesn't make us suffer too much. The two fell silent, listening to the sounds of fighting in the distance like two lambs waiting to be slaughtered. There was no better description for being helpless. On the night the point rankings appeared, the intensity of the slaughter suddenly escalated. It wasn't just the slaughter of flame fire beasts anymore, but the slaughter between people. The reason was simple: points could be inherited. If you kill a flame fire beast, the points are yours. But if I kill you, your points become mine. Everyone knew exactly what this rule meant. Instead of working hard to find those flame fire beasts that were becoming fewer and harder to kill, it was better to kill people directly. The first large-scale massacre occurred at dusk on the third day. A medium-sized mercenary group of 300 people suffered heavy losses while besieging a nest of 50 stellar level 9 flame fire beasts. Only fewer than 100 remained, and every one of them was injured. Just then, a force that had originally been allied with them suddenly turned hostile. 500 against 100 remnants, the result was never in doubt. In less than the time it takes for a meal, everyone in that mercenary group was killed. The leader was still shouting before he died, "We are allies. We are allies." He was answered by a blade through the heart. Allies. The one who struck sneered. In the face of points, I'd even kill my own father, let alone an ally. Similar scenes were playing out simultaneously in every corner of the world within a world. By a lava river, two squads were working together to kill a flame fire beast. Just as they were about to succeed, the captain of one squad suddenly attacked, decapitating the captain of the other squad with a single stroke. "You're crazy," the vice captain exclaimed. "Crazy." The captain grinned as he wiped his blade. "Look at the point rankings yourselves. The threshold for the top 1,000 is still rising. We can't catch up just by killing flame fire beasts. If we don't kill people, how can we enter the top 1,000? The vice captain fell silent. Then he also drew his blade. Not at the enemy, but at the captain's back. He stabbed right through. "Captain, you're right. In the face of points, one would even kill their own father." The vice captain withdrew his blade expressionlessly. "So, your points are mine now." The fourth day. Inside the Iron Hand family camp, a small-scale riot broke out. It started when several members on patrol at the edge of the camp discovered a small universe crystal vein with a reserve of about 5,000 cubic meters. 5,000 cubic meters of universe crystals were worth over 16 billion Gamu coins. For the members of the Iron Hand family, this was a sum of money that could change their lives. They didn't report it but instead started digging in secret. However, the news leaked, and another patrol squad discovered them. "Everyone gets a share," the arriving squad said. "On what grounds? We found it first. Without us keeping your secret, you won't be able to take it anyway." The argument escalated into a brawl, and the brawl escalated into a slaughter. By the time young Master Tai Gushin arrived, over a dozen corpses were already lying on the ground. Both sides were seeing red and couldn't stop. "Enough. Young Master Tai Gushin roared, smashing a 3-meter-high rock with a single punch. The sounds of fighting ceased, and everyone looked at him. Young Master Tai Gushin looked at the corpses littering the ground, his expression extremely grim. These were all elites carefully nurtured by the Iron Hand family, not common weeds by the roadside. Here, they had died without any value. You all, very good, truly very good. No one dared to speak. Young Master Tai Gushin took a deep breath to suppress the anger in his heart. From now on, anyone who fights privately will be dealt with by family law. Universe crystals will be collected uniformly and distributed according to merit. He paused, his gaze sweeping over everyone present. Remember, our enemy is not our own people. The World Lord legacy is the most important thing. Once we get the legacy, you can have as many universe crystals as you want. The crowd dispersed. But young Master Tai Gushin knew that the unrest had only been suppressed, not eliminated. If the hearts of the people were scattered, the team would be impossible to lead. Chapter 135, Hell on Earth. It was also the 4th day. Outside the Chifeng mercenary group's camp, a human head was hung from a flagpole. It belonged to one of their own. A squad leader had led his team in a night raid on another squad's camp, killing 17 of their comrades and stealing the Huawu coins and universe crystals they had accumulated. Then they fled. But the Chifeng mercenary group's counter-tracking capabilities were too strong. They were captured and brought back in less than 2 hours. Team leader Kai Hu didn't waste words, ordering an immediate public execution. The squad leader's head was hung on the flagpole for all to see, with a note attached: "Deserters shall be killed without mercy." Silence fell over the camp. But the look in everyone's eyes as they stared at that head wasn't fear, it was something else. It couldn't be helped, the temptation was simply too great. Or rather, if one could just get enough Huawu coins and find a place to hide, they could pass the universe mercenary exam. After all, not everyone was a damn battle maniac, they wanted to live. Cultivating to the astral rank was extremely difficult. How could they let themselves die here so easily? Especially in such a meaningless way. Team leader Kai Hu naturally knew what these people were thinking. It wasn't, "I shouldn't do this," but rather, "I shouldn't get caught." But it didn't matter. If you dared to commit the crime, he would kill you, kill until you no longer dared. The 5th day. The Void Cult's camp suddenly went quiet. Everyone had retreated into black tents, and no one knew what they were doing. Until late at night, a blood-curdling scream shattered the silence. A believer rushed out of a tent, covered in blood, his eyes wild with madness. "They want to sacrifice me. They want to sacrifice me." He didn't finish his sentence. Open black lens bracket. Remember the fastest novel site 101kanshu.com for a complete collection, read anytime. Close black lens bracket. A dozen black tentacles reached out from the tent and dragged him back inside. The screaming lasted for over 10 seconds before stopping abruptly. On the morning of the 6th day, several mummified corpses appeared at the edge of the Void Cult's camp. They had no wounds on their bodies, but their blood, bone marrow, and even their souls had been sucked dry. Their points had all been transferred to Lord Shadow. Even the usually steady Lord Shadow had begun to resort to such desperate measures. Even the members of the same cult couldn't help but feel a chill down their spines. The 6th day. Ning no longer cared about points. His points led the second place by nearly 20-fold. Even if he didn't kill a single flame fire beast from now on, it would be difficult for others to catch up. He began to focus on another task, purging the Wanshin clan. On this day, he found a gathering point for the Wanshin clan and their subordinate forces, numbering about 150 people. Without a word, he struck. Kindness to the enemy is cruelty to oneself. The Mo Yun Vine King's 72 vines surged out from his internal world like a massive net that blotted out the sun, enveloping the entire gathering point. "Who's there? Enemy attack!" Terrified shouts rose one after another. Ning stood upon a throne woven from vines, looking down at the crowd from above. "Wanshin clan, leave none alive." The 72 vines strangled simultaneously. Each vine was equivalent to a Universe Level 1 powerhouse. Against those at Stellar Level 9, it was a complete dimensional suppression. Wherever the vines passed, people were like ants. Some tried to counter with illusions, firing eerie green light at Yan Ning, but a vine blocked it, and the light dissipated. Some tried to flee, but the vines chased them down, coiled around their ankles, and dragged them back. Some tried to beg for mercy, but vines have no ears. In less than 3 minutes, the battle was over. 150 people, all dead. Yan Ning collected the spatial rings and swept his consciousness inside. Over 3,000 cubic meters of universe crystals. Counting what he had before, he now had about 7,000 cubic meters. And miscellaneous items worth over 20 billion Gamu coins, not bad. He turned and vanished into the gray mist, leaving behind a scene of devastation. The news quickly reached team leader Mo Lin's ears. What? 150 people, all dead. Mo Lin's voice was trembling. Yes. The subordinate was nearly in tears. Lord, do we really have to keep fighting? This isn't even a battle on the same level. Mo Lin remained silent for a long time. He knew his subordinate was right. With the combat power Yan Ning had displayed, even if he committed all the remaining 800 men, the chance of winning was less than 30%. But he had no way out. The Wanxin clan had intended to kill Yan Ning, and Yan Ning intended to kill the Wanxin clan. This was not a war that could be called off. Contact team leader Kai Hu, Mo Lin finally said. Tell him I'm willing to give up 3/4 of the inheritance share in exchange for the Chifeng mercenary group's full support. Lord, that man Kai Hu. I know he's no good. Mo Lin interrupted him, but right now, only he can save us. Go. The subordinate took the order and left. Mo Lin stood alone in the camp, watching the flashes of fire that occasionally flickered in the gray mist, suddenly feeling a deep sense of exhaustion. If he had known it would come to this, why did he provoke that bringer of death in the first place? The 7th day. Only a few days remained on the countdown. The struggle for point rankings had reached a fever pitch. The threshold for the top 10,000 was constantly being pushed higher, and those who were trailing by less than 100 points began to go completely mad. They knew that it was no longer possible to enter the top 10,000 through normal means. The only chance was to kill someone ranked higher and inherit their points. Thus, a hunt targeting the strong began. The higher one's rank, the more dangerous it became. A martial artist ranked 7,213th was resting by a lava pool. He hadn't closed his eyes for 3 days, and his spirit was extremely exhausted. Just then, a dozen people rushed out of the gray mist and attacked without a word. He killed 3, but in the end, he was surrounded and slaughtered. Before he died, he heard his killers laughing, the 7,000th rank. We've struck it rich. A powerhouse ranked 341st was the leader of a medium-sized faction. He had over 100 guards around him and originally thought he was safe enough. But early the next morning, a third of his guards suddenly mutinied, joining forces with outsiders to kill him. The mutinous guards split his points and his spatial rings. And then, those guards were killed by others, and the points changed hands once again. A mysterious powerhouse ranked 98th was ambushed by the Void Cult in the gray mist. No one knew the specific details of the battle. But the next morning, his body appeared at the edge of a volcanic crater, shriveled and drained of blood. And Shadow's rank jumped from 123rd to 87th. Chaos, madness, bloodshed. The Huowu pocket dimension had turned into a hell on Earth. Thousands of people died every day, their corpses piling up on the scorched earth, swallowed by lava or buried by the gray mist. No one knew if they would be the one to die tomorrow. No one could even guarantee they would still be alive in the next minute. Because in this place, in the next second, an ally might stab you in the back, an enemy might ambush you from behind, or a native beast might leap out from the lava. Inconstancy was the only constant here. Chapter 136, Are you willing to follow me? Day 8. Open black lens bracket countdown, 32 hours close black lens bracket. Yan Ning stood on the edge of a crater, the vines of the Mo Yun Vine King swaying gently behind him. 72 vines, each hundreds of kilometers long, pulsed with terrifying energy within their gold and red patterns. 72 universe rank vines were enough to strangle every living thing within a radius of thousands of miles. This was true crushing power. Yan Ning looked down into the crater. Magma churned, and a massive creature could be seen moving deep within. It was a universe-rank flame fire beast king, over 500 meters in size, its aura so powerful that the surrounding magma retreated from it. This was the last universe-rank flame fire beast in the Huowu pocket dimension, and also the strongest. Yan Ning stared at it with a calm expression. "I've finally found you, little guy who hid the deepest. Mo Yun, move." 72 vines plunged into the magma simultaneously, like red-hot iron skewers piercing deep into the volcano. The flame fire beast king roared, magma shot into the sky, and waves of fire swept in all directions. But under the siege of 72 universe-rank vines, its struggle was meaningless. In less than a minute, the last universe-rank flame fire beast was pierced by the 72 vines, its life essence completely drained. The corpse sank into the magma, motionless. Yan Ning retracted the vines and glanced at the rankings. First place. His score surged by 1,000 points, reaching 5,300. Although the gap with the second-place score had narrowed further, it was still only around 482 points. Just as Yan Ning was preparing to leave, a group of people suddenly appeared within his perception range. About 30 of them were chasing 2 people. Yan Ning didn't intend to get involved. He wasn't a saint, everyone had to be responsible for their own choices. But, wait. Those 30 pursuers were wearing the standard battle armor of the Wanshin clan. Yan Ning's gaze turned cold. Save us. The ones being chased were 2 women, who appeared to be twins, stellar level 9, with extremely similar features and an ethereal temperament. Their armor was in tatters, and they had multiple wounds on their bodies. They had clearly been running for a long time. The older twin was named Yin Su, and the younger was named Yin Shui. They were core disciples of a small power. Their family had been completely wiped out in this trial, leaving only the 2 of them. The Wanshin clan was chasing them not because of a grudge, but purely because they were lucky enough to find over a dozen Huowu coins in the ruins. "Stop running." The sneers of the Wanshin clan pursuers came from behind. "You 2 little wenches, hand over the Huowu coins and serve us well, and maybe we'll let you live." Yin Su gritted her teeth and didn't speak, only desperately accelerating. She knew that falling into the hands of the Wanshin clan would be worse than death. Suddenly, Yin Su sensed something and abruptly looked up. Not far ahead, a figure stood on the edge of the crater, looking toward them. Above that person's head, the name in the first-place ranking was as blinding as the sun. Yan Ning, that mysterious super-expert, the existence with a massive lead in first place. Yin Su's heart skipped a beat, and without thinking, she grabbed her sister and rushed in that direction. "Save us." Her voice trembled, filled with despair and a final sliver of hope. The Wanshin clan pursuers behind them also saw Yan Ning. Their faces instantly turned pale. Yan Ning. This name had already become a taboo, a nightmare within the Wanshin clan. "Retreat," the leader ordered without hesitation. But it was too late. Yan Ning moved. He simply raised his hand. A vine of the Mo Yun Vine King emerged from his collar and swept out gently. The 30 Wanshin clan pursuers were swatted away like 30 ants. They had already lost all signs of life while still in the air. By the time their bodies hit the ground, their blood had already been drained dry by the Mo Yun Vine King. Yin Su and Yin Shui stood frozen in place, watching this scene, unable to speak for a long time. 30 stellar level 9s. One move. Instantly killed. Is this the strength of the first-place ranker? So, this is how those thousands of points were earned. But why is there such a massive difference when they are clearly all at the astral rank? Thank you, Senior, for saving our lives. Yin Su snapped back to her senses and pulled her sister into a deep bow. Yan Ning sized up the pair of twins. They were indeed very beautiful. Exquisite features, a cold temperament, and tall figures. Though they were covered in wounds and grime, one could still see their excellent foundation. More importantly, they both carried a natural sense of affinity, the type that made people instinctively want to get closer. "Are you twins?" Yan Ning asked. "Yes," Yin Su nodded. "I am the older sister, Yin Su, and this is my younger sister, Yin Shui. Stellar level 9, and you both have domains." "What domains?" The sisters exchanged a glance, both seeing the surprise in each other's eyes. This man's insight was incredibly sharp. I have a level 2 domain of wood, Yin Su said. I have a level 2 water domain, Yin Shui said. Yan Ning nodded. Martial artists with domain talent didn't have bad potential, most importantly, the talent of their descendants would likely not be poor. He asked again, family. Yin Su bit her lip. The clansmen who came for the trial are all dead. Only as sisters remain. No one to rely on. Yes. Then are you willing to follow me? To produce descendants for me? Yin Su and Yin Shui were both stunned. What kind of question was this? But the shock lasted for less than 2 seconds. Then, a light of wild joy erupted in both sisters' eyes simultaneously. Could such a good thing actually fall into their laps? The peerless expert ranked first not only saved their lives but was also willing to take them in. Forget producing descendants, even if they had to work like beasts of burden, they would be willing. In this purgatory where one could die at any moment, finding a powerful person to rely on was something many people could only dream of. We are willing, the sisters said in unison, fearing Yan Ning would change his mind. Yan Ning nodded, his tone still indifferent. Good, then follow me. He turned around and walked deep into the gray mist. Yin Su and Yin Shui hurriedly followed, one on each side, like 2 little attendants. After a few steps, Yin Su couldn't help but whisper to her sister, "Are we dreaming?" Yin Shui pinched herself, wincing from the pain. "It's not a dream. That's good, sister. You pinched me. ... Oh, sorry." In the gray mist, the figures of the 3 gradually disappeared. Behind them, the volcano was still erupting, the magma was still surging, and the slaughter continued. But none of this had anything to do with them anymore. Because from this moment on, their lives were bound to the man named Yan Ning. Day 10. Time was up, and everything was settled. Powers or individuals ranked around 10,000th place chose to head toward the flame flower. Though they couldn't enter, they waited outside to see if they could pick up any scraps. The main point was, so what if you obtained an opportunity? What actually influenced the final result was just one thing, damn strength. Either you had numbers, or you achieved a breakthrough to universe rank. But, was the universe rank really that easy to break through to? After 10 days of madness, the crowd, returning to their senses, finally understood this problem. But fortunately, the final results were not yet set in stone, and there was still time to make amends. And so, the masses without a spot began to tacitly arrange a collective ambush against those who had obtained an opportunity. Chapter 137, The Three-Way Siege. The Final Day. Countdown, the final hour. The light of the flame flower illuminated half the sky, the golden red patterns on its petals pulsed like a heartbeat, as if it would fully bloom at any moment. Yan Ning settled Yin Su and Yin Shui in a hidden underground cave. Deep within the cave was a natural magma barrier, and with a branch vine left behind by the Mo Yun Vine King, it was enough to block any astral rank detection. Stay here, do not go out, and wait for me to return. Yan Ning looked at the sisters and instructed. Yin Su bit her lip, wanting to say something, but in the end, she only nodded firmly. Yin Shui held her sister's hand and whispered, "Senior, be careful." Yan Ning did not look back, his figure disappearing into the gray mist. He did not conceal his aura. The pressure of his stellar level 4 was released without reservation, shining dazzlingly in the gray mist. Within a radius of several hundred miles, everyone sensed his presence. That dark golden name, that number 1 with 6,400 points, was swaggering toward the flame flower. In front of the flame flower, a scorched plain nearly 100 kilometers in radius was cut into several pieces by rivers of magma. The plain was densely packed with people. The top 10,000 elites, loose cultivators here to watch the spectacle, and small factions wanting to fish in troubled waters were all mixed together. The total number of people exceeded 30,000. Everyone's gaze was fixed on that dark golden name approaching in their field of vision. He's here. He's here. The number 1 is here. Alone. He came alone. Nonsense, look at his points, 6,400. One person is worth 3,000 of us, does he need to bring people? But he is only stellar level 4. How the hell did he farm these points? Who knows? Maybe he's lucky, maybe he has a trump card. The crowd whispered to each other, their gazes complex. Jealousy, doubt, greed, awe, various emotions spread through the crowd. Yan Ning walked out of the gray mist. Wearing black battle armor, a battle saber at his waist, his face was calm. The dark golden name and sword-shaped emblem above his head shone brightly in the firelight. His stellar level 4 aura was completely unmasked. He really is stellar level 4. But how is that even possible? Someone gasped. That's it. I thought he had 3 heads and 6 arms. Don't underestimate him. To be able to farm 6,400 points, there must be something strange. Strange. No matter how strange, he's still astral rank. There are 30,000 of us here, we could drown him with just one spit each. The person speaking had a loud voice, but his feet honestly took a few steps back. Having talked too much trash, after realizing something was wrong, he quickly retreated. No one was a fool. For a stellar level 4 to reach first place, he either had a heaven-defying trump card, or he had the backing of an undying faction. Whichever it was, he was not someone to be trifled with lightly. But not taking action did not mean they weren't considering it. Countless eyes stared at Yan Ning, like a wolf pack eyeing a lone prey. Yan Ning walked directly beneath the flame flower and looked up at the giant flower that had been burning for 1,000,000 years. The petals were closed, magma flowed on the surface, and the outline of an ancient building was vaguely visible in the center. He withdrew his gaze and scanned the crowd around him. More than 30,000 people, clearly divided. The innermost circle consisted of the top 1,000 experts, each with a powerful aura and sharp gaze. In the middle were the top 10,000 elites, well-equipped and disciplined. The outermost layer was the loose cultivators watching the spectacle, in groups of 3 or 5, ready to change sides at any moment. Yan Ning ignored them, sat cross-legged on the spot, and closed his eyes to rest. This posture, in the eyes of those with ulterior motives, was a naked provocation. This guy is too arrogant, right? He has the capital to be arrogant, do you? HMPH, capital. Wait until he's besieged later, let's see if he's still arrogant then. The discussions rose and fell, but no one dared to be the first to make a move. Everyone understood the principle that the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. Chifeng Mercenary Group Camp. Team leader Kai Hu stared at Yan Ning's back, his fingers tapping lightly on the hilt of his saber. 5,000 people against one person, what are the odds of winning? The adjutant hesitated for a moment. If he has no trump card, 100%, but if he does. Team leader Kai Hu interrupted him. I know that, of course, the question is, what is his trump card? No one could answer. Just then, the people from the Wanxin clan arrived. Team leader Mo Lin brought the remaining 500 people, his face terrifyingly gloomy. Team leader Kai Hu, let's talk in private. The two walked to a quiet corner, and team leader Mo Lin got straight to the point. Help me kill Yan Ning, you set the conditions. Team leader Kai Hu raised an eyebrow, deliberately pretending not to know. Oh. What grudge does your Wanxin clan have with him? He killed 1,700 of my clansmen. This hatred is irreconcilable. Team leader Mo Lin's voice sounded like it was squeezed out from between his teeth. Team leader Kai Hu pondered, extremely surprised. 1,700 people. Did he kill them alone? Are you not mocking us? Absolutely no lies. Team leader Kai Hu's pupil shrank slightly, but he quickly returned to calm. Killing him is possible, but the price is not small. It's the same as what I said at the beginning, what can you give? Team leader Kai Hu added meaningfully, that map is a useless item. As for the gains from the legacy flower, my Wanxin clan will only take 10%, and the remaining 90% will be divided between you, Chifeng, and the Void Cult. 10%. Team leader Kai Hu shook his head. Too little. How many people does your Wanxin clan have left now? 500. Once you enter the legacy flower, what will you use to compete with us? 10% is already overestimating you. Team leader Mo Lin gritted his teeth. 5%, no more. Everything, otherwise no deal. Deal. Team leader Kai Hu nodded with satisfaction and turned to walk towards the Void Cult's camp. Team leader Mo Lin stood in place, watching team leader Kai Hu's back, a cold light flashing in his eyes. Let you be smug for now. Once I get the World Lord legacy, I will make you spit out double what you ate today. Void Cult Camp. Shadow listened to Team Leader Kai-Hu's purpose and was silent for a long time. The Wanshin clan's map has shown activity, Shadow suddenly said. Team Leader Kai-Hu was stunned, then his eyes lit up. You mean, the map points to the legacy flower. After approaching the flame flower, the mark on the map began to flicker. Shadow's voice was hoarse. That fool Team Leader Mo Lin thinks others don't know, but the energy fluctuations on him cannot deceive me. So, Yan Ning must die. No, Yan Ning's life or death is not important, what is important is the map. Shadow paused, but since Team Leader Mo Lin is willing to pay the price, we might as well kill Yan Ning, there is no loss. Team Leader Kai-Hu laughed. Good. Then the three parties will join hands, 3,000 against 1, it will be foolproof. Finally, we will finish off the Wanshin clan. Shadow did not speak. His gaze passed through the gray mist and landed on Yan Ning. Stellar level 4, 6,400 points, is this person really as simple as he appears on the surface? The news spread quickly. Chifeng mercenary group with 2,500 people, Void Cult with 500 people, Wanshin clan with 500 people. A total of 3,500 people, all dispatched. 3,500 figures surrounded the flame flower from 3 directions. No one concealed their intentions. The reflection of battle armor flickered in the gray mist, the cold gleam of weapons pierced through the dust and smoke, and the killing intent was like a substance, pressing the surrounding loose cultivators to retreat repeatedly. Fuck, what is this about? Need to ask. Killing the number 1, 3,500 against 1. Isn't this too shameless? Face. In front of the World Lord legacy, how much is face worth? The crowd was in an uproar, but their feet honestly stepped back. Within dozens of square kilometers, the crowd receded like a tide, leaving a huge open space. In the center of the open space, only Yan Ning remained. Sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, saying nothing. Chapter 138, Just Toying with You. Yan Ning opened his eyes and slowly stood up. His gaze swept over the people of the Chifeng mercenary group and the Void Cult, finally landing on Team Leader Mo Lin. Chifeng mercenary group. Void Cult. You all want to get involved too. His voice wasn't loud, but everyone heard it clearly. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. Leave now, and I might spare your miserable lives. The entire field fell silent. Then, a burst of laughter erupted. 3 seconds. Who does he think he is? A domain lord. A world lord. A stellar level 4 against 3,500 stellar level 9s, and he's sparing our lives. How hilarious. Is something wrong with this kid's head? Team Leader Kai-Hu stepped forward, arms crossed over his chest, looking down at Yan Ning. Kid, my Chifeng mercenary group has no grudge against you, but the Wanshin clan offered a good price. If you're smart, end your own life to save yourself the suffering. Yan Ning's gaze swept past Team Leader Kai-Hu and landed on Shadow. Shadow said nothing, but tentacles slowly reached out from beneath his black cloak, expressing his stance through action. Team Leader Mo Lin stepped forward and sneered. Why all the nonsense? Killing you and getting the opportunity, it's that simple. He paused, his voice suddenly rising. You should ask my Wanshin clan how much profit we gave up to move these 2 groups. But Team Leader Mo Lin hadn't lost his head to anger. He had his own calculations. By killing Yan Ning and giving up some benefits, he would still have a chance. As long as he obtained World Lord Huowu's legacy, the Chifeng mercenary group and the Void Cult would have to spit back double what they swallowed today. He had one more trump card he hadn't mentioned. Just as they approached the flame flower, the ancient map found on the crashed spaceship suddenly reacted. The originally blurred markings on the map began to flash, pointing deep into the flame flower. That was where World Lord Huowu's true inheritance lay. Team Leader Mo Lin was even more certain that as long as he dealt with the biggest variable, Yan Ning, World Lord Huowu's inheritance would be his for the taking. To that end, he had to play this scene well in front of the others. He needed Team Leader Kai-Hu and Shadow to think he was just a fool blinded by hatred, that he only wanted revenge. To lower their guard. Once Yan Ning was dead, the legacy flower opened, and the map guided him to the true treasure trove. At that time, he would take back the profits he surrendered today, with interest. As for whether the plan was crude or the timing tight, it didn't really matter. As long as Yan Ning died, the plan was mostly a success. The success rate was not low. Yan Ning looked into team leader Mo Lin's eyes. In those eyes, there was hatred, calculation, greed, and confidence. But there was no fear. It seems you don't plan on leaving. Yan Ning withdrew his gaze, sweeping it over the people from the Chifeng mercenary group and the Void cult. In that case, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly, revealing a meaningful smile. In a moment, none of you shall leave. Team leader Kai Hu's voice was cold and hard. Kid, still stubborn at death's door. Attack. Team leader Mo Lin waved his hand. Wanxin clan, move. Shadow said nothing, but black tentacles had already emerged from under his cloak, silently creeping toward Yan Ning. 3,500 figures moved simultaneously. Team leader Mo Lin walked at the front, his eyes bloodshot and his voice hoarse. Yan Ning, for killing my clansmen without cause, you deserve to die. Yan Ning opened his eyes and glanced at him. Without cause. Your Wanxin clan took the initiative to attack and kill me first, and now you talk about, without cause. Team leader Mo Lin's expression changed, but he quickly regained his ferocious look. Enough talk. You won't be leaving today. The 2,500 members of the Chifeng mercenary group pressed forward from the front, with the gleam of blades and swords surging like a tide. 500 members of the Void cult flanked from both sides, black tentacles reaching out from the shadows to block any retreat. 500 members of the Wanxin clan held the rear, with eerie green illusionary light covering the sky and earth, dyeing the entire battlefield green. Surrounded on three sides, there were no blind spots. Yan Ning drew his battle saber and advanced instead of retreating. The first strike slashed through the foremost Chifeng member. Bodies flew, blood splattered. The second strike severed two void tentacles. The third strike split an illusionary light screen. But there were too many people. They came one after another, there was simply no end to them. Yan Ning began to retreat. 1 step, 2 steps, 10 steps, 100 steps. The first crack appeared on his battle armor, his left arm was cut by saber chi, and blood dripped from his fingers. He's wounded, someone shouted excitedly. He's retreating. He's retreating. He can't hold on. Keep it up. Kill him. The crowd seethed. Team leader Mo Lin stood in the back, a flash of triumph in his eyes, but he quickly suppressed it. It wasn't enough yet. He hadn't played his trump card yet. Team leader Kai Hu frowned. It was too easy. How could someone who killed 700 members of the Wanxin clan be pushed back so easily? But he didn't call for a halt. Because no matter what trump cards Yan Ning had, 3,500 people were enough to handle any contingency. Swearing by the resources of this world within a world, whoever kills Yan Ning will receive 100 billion Ganwu coins. Team leader Mo Lin's voice spread across the battlefield. My Wanxin clan will do everything in its power to ensure they enter the universe rank. Under such a heavy reward, brave men swarmed like a tide. The loose cultivators who had been watching from a distance immediately saw red. 100 billion Ganwu coins. What did that mean? It was enough for an astral rank to cultivate to universe level 1, or even level 3. Not to mention the promise personally made by the Wanxin clan. Let's risk it. With so many people anyway, one more won't hurt. Fish in troubled waters, what if I get lucky? 300 people rushed into the battlefield from the periphery, joining the siege. Yan Ning's retreat accelerated, more cracks appeared on his battle armor, and blood stained half of his body red. He's almost finished. Someone shouted. One more push. Another 700 people poured in. A total of 4,500 people were besieging Yan Ning alone. On the scorched earth spanning dozens of kilometers, there were dense crowds of figures. Blade light, sword shadows, tentacles, illusions, and energy cannons, all sorts of attacks poured down like a rainstorm. Yan Ning's figure lunged and dodged through the crowd. Every swing of his blade took a life, but his wounds increased, and his retreating steps became more and more erratic. Ha ha ha, what first place? He's just so-so. Today is the day you die. The mockery of the crowd rose and fell. A hint of a smile finally appeared at the corner of Team Leader Mo Lin's mouth. No matter what trump cards you have, 4500 stellar level 9s will wear you down to death. Team Leader Kai Hu's brow smoothed out slightly, perhaps he really had been overthinking it. Shadow's tentacles wove through the crowd, his gaze always fixed on Yan Ning's eyes. Those eyes were too calm. Despite such heavy injuries and being besieged by so many people, there was no fear, no anger, not even tension in those eyes. Only calmness. Like a pool of stagnant water. Shadow's tentacles suddenly retracted. Wait, something's wrong. Before he could finish. Yan Ning burst into laughter. It was the laughter of a hunter seeing his prey step into a trap. I was just toying with you. His voice wasn't loud, but everyone heard it clearly. Then, 72, silvery white vines exploded from his collar. Chapter 139, Red Earth for 10,000 miles, blood rain fills the sky. Exploded. Like a silver white flower, it bloomed instantly in the center of the battlefield. Each vine was hundreds of kilometers long, with spiral golden patterns flowing on the surface, and the ends split into countless tiny tentacles. The aura of a universe rank. Not level 1, but a terrifying existence capable of crushing a universe rank level 6. 72 vines. Every single one was a universe rank expert. The moment the vines opened, the air within a radius of hundreds of kilometers solidified. Everyone's movements froze. It wasn't that they didn't want to move, but that they couldn't. That pressure was like a mountain or a peak, pressing down on every astral ranked soul, making it difficult for them to even breathe. Universe rank. 72 vines, all universe rank. What kind of monster is this? Terrified voices rang out from all directions. Yan Ning stood in the center of the throne woven of vines, looking down at the 4,500 people beneath his feet. Kill. One word. 72 vines fell simultaneously. Not swinging like before, but piercing. The silver-white vines pierced through the crowd like lightning, each one accurately skewering a target. Piercing through the chest, sucking the blood dry, draining the origin energy, and then pulling out. The whole process took less than half a second. The first batch, 720 people, dead. 720 voids appeared on the battlefield, and blood mist permeated the air. Run quickly. Someone shouted first, and then everyone began to run. But the vines were faster than them. 72 vines wove through the crowd, each thrust taking a batch of lives. There were no screams, because the moment the vines pierced through the throat, the vocal cords were severed before they could make a sound. There was no blood, because every drop was sucked dry. There were no corpses, because after being sucked dry, the digestive fluids secreted by the vines decomposed the remains into basic particles. The second batch, 720 people, dead. The third batch, 720 people, dead. The fourth batch, 720 people, dead. In less than 5 minutes, of the 4,500 people, less than half remained. Team leader Kai Hu's eyes widened, his whole body trembling. He wanted to run, but a vine pierced his heart from behind. Before he died, he finally understood one thing. It turned out the man's calmness wasn't a pretense, but the indifference of looking down at ants. The tentacles of shadow retracted desperately, trying to escape into the shadow space. But a silver-white vine followed him in, wrapped around his neck, and tightened gently. The strongest expert of the void cult on this trip, dead. Team leader Mo Lin stood in the center of the pile of corpses, trembling all over. His plan, his map, his ambition, in the face of absolute power, they were worthless. How could it be a universe rank? You can't kill me. I have the map. I know the secret of the legacy flower. Yan Ning looked down at him. No need. Once you're dead, the items will be mine all the same. The vine fell. Team leader Mo Lin's body turned to ashes, and a yellowed beast skin map floated out from the ashes. Yan Ning reached out to catch it, glanced at it, and put it into his spatial ring. The battle ended. From beginning to end, it took less than 10 minutes. 4,500 stellar level 9s, all dead. On the scorched earth, there was not a single corpse, not a drop of blood. Only ashes. And the lingering smell of blood in the air. 72 silver-white vines slowly retracted, shrinking into Yan Ning's collar. He stood in the center of the clearing, his armor tattered, but his originally scar-covered body instantly returned to normal, without a single scar left. No one dared to approach. It turned out that from start to finish, it was all that man's damn fishing. Operation. Ruthless. Cruel. Over 4,000 stellar level 4s, all fucking dead. ... In the distance, the loose cultivators and small forces who hadn't participated in the siege watched this scene blankly. Some sat paralyzed on the ground, others trembled all over. 4,500 people, just gone like that. One person, he alone killed 4,500 stellar level 9s. Not human, he's not human. The people from the Iron Hand family stood the furthest away, young Master Tai Gushen's face pale. His hands were shaking. The Iron Hand family used their hands as weapons, claiming their fists could shatter stars. But at this moment, he couldn't clench his fist. Because of fear. Because he knew that in front of that person, a fist was no different from paper. Fortunately, they didn't get involved with that group from the Chifeng mercenary group, otherwise, the ones dead would have been the people of their Iron Hand family. Yan Ning paid no attention to those gazes. He turned and looked toward the flame flower. The petals were slowly opening. The countdown hit 0. He stepped forward and walked toward the center of the petals. Behind him, blood rain condensed in the gray mist fell from the sky, landing on the scorched earth and merging into dark red streams. Red earth for 10,000 miles, blood rain filling the sky. One person, 72 vines, 4,500 people. All killed. Perhaps the flame flower felt a baptism of slaughter, or perhaps it was just the right time. The towering, vast flame flower bloomed. Crimson glimmers flashed wildly. Petals with a radius of 10 meters branched out to receive the top 1,000 rankers. After the slaughter, less than half remained. Inside the legacy flower, there was no magma or gray mist as imagined, only a heart-palpitating silence in the vast emptiness. Yan Ning looked around. The inside of the petals was translucent crimson gold, like solidified amber, with the flickering firelight outside faintly visible. The space was outrageously large, enough to hold millions of people, but currently, he was the only one. Not one of those top 10,000 experts, those who desperately climbed the leaderboard, was there. The flame flower only allowed one person to enter. Or rather, it was waiting for one person. A phantom emerged. It was no longer the ferocious, roaring appearance from before, but a traveler walking out step by step from the void, as if stepping out from 1,000,000 years ago. World Lord Huo Wu. 4 arms hung naturally at his sides, and the 4 sharp horns on his head shimmered with a dark golden luster. His figure shrank to the size of an ordinary person, and his face was no longer distorted. Instead, it was an ordinary middle-aged man's face. Sunken eyes, high cheekbones, and an old scar extending from the base of his ear to his lower jaw. His gaze was very calm, so calm he didn't seem like the vengeful spirit who had roared, "Wiguang, you deserve to die. You aren't afraid of me." Lord Huwu tilted his head, sizing up Yan Ning. Yan Ning thought, "You're just a world lord, and you've been dead for 1,000,000 years, why should I be afraid of you? At the very least, it would take an overlord of the primordial chaos city lord's level to make me a little nervous, right?" Ahem, that's a bit pretentious. Yan Ning knew his own strength well. Of course, he couldn't say that out loud. Yan Ning said without changing his expression, "Of course I'm afraid, but fear is useless, so I've just accepted it." Lord Huwu stared at him for 3 seconds, then suddenly burst into laughter. It was the kind of amused laugh one gives when seeing a young person's cleverness after having seen it all. Lord Huwu shook his head. "Although I am only a wisp of a remnant soul right now, I can still sense whether or not you have fear in your heart, little fellow. You aren't afraid at all. In fact, I even feel you're a bit dismissive of me." Chapter 140, Lord Huwu's Will. Is it that kind of, "Oh, so it's just a world lord, nothing to talk about or be afraid of, thing? Well, that makes sense, after all, I'm a dead man now anyway." Yan Ning. Lord Huwu didn't press the matter and sighed. "I don't have much time left, so I'll keep it brief." He placed 2 of his forearms behind his back, while the other 2 made a stroke in the void realm, causing a star map to emerge. Are you willing to inherit my legacy? The price is a promise. If you can grow to become an undying in the future, help me kill World Lord Weiguang. Yan Ning looked at the galaxy marked as Weiguang Galaxy on the star map and did not hesitate. I am willing. A hint of surprise flashed in Lord Huwu's eyes. You won't think about it more. An undying spiritual god is hard to come by even in thousands of galaxies. Back then, I was only half a step away from becoming an undying, but that half step is a heavenly chasm. Even if you are a heaven-sent genius, you can't guarantee you'll succeed, right? Yan Ning said calmly, Senior is right. But it's just a world lord, it's not worth my hesitation. I, Yan Ning, am a man of my word. If I promise something, I will do it. Lord Huwu remained silent for a long time. Then he burst into laughter. This time it was genuine, hearty laughter, so intense that all 4 of his arms were trembling slightly. Good, good, good. He said the word, good, 3 times in a row. If I had your spirit back then, I wouldn't have. His smile came to an abrupt halt. A layer of mist appeared in Lord Huwu's eyes, but as he was only a remnant thought, he could not shed tears, there was only light flickering in his eye sockets. Thinking back, Weiguang and I were like brothers. We explored secret realms together and went through life and death together. That secret realm was extremely dangerous but full of opportunity. I thought that anyone in this world might betray me, except for him. His voice began to tremble. And, the result. For an undying fruit, he stabbed me in the back. That strike pierced my internal world and collapsed my life's foundation. I fought my way out and hid in this world within a world, barely surviving for hundreds of thousands of years before finally dying. I hate it. I don't hate him for killing me, I hate myself. I hate that I was blind, and I hate that I didn't listen to my master's words. Lord Huwu clenched all 4 of his fists at once, veins bulging. Back then, my master, Chuo, a champion-level undying, personally warned me, Weiguang is a man of bad character and should not be befriended. I didn't listen. I refused to believe it. I felt that Master looked down on my choices and thought I was just trying to climb the social ladder. I even had a huge argument with Master and left in a fit of anger, never to return. His voice finally took on a sobbing tone. Master, I have failed you, I have failed you. And these damned flame fire beasts. Lord Huwu suddenly looked up, a fierce look flashing in his eyes. They were originally pets I kept. They fed on my intelligence and remnant thoughts, and after my death, they continued to multiply and grow stronger, devouring my last bits of sanity. For 1,000,000 years, I have been sometimes lucid and sometimes mad. When lucid, I wanted to leave behind a legacy, when mad, I wanted nothing more than to kill everyone. It was all thanks to these beasts. Now, it's time for them to pay their debt. Lord Huwu took a deep breath, and his emotions gradually calmed down. He looked at Yan Ning with a complex gaze. Anyway, enough of that. My legacy is stored in the Universe Bank. Remember the account number and password. With a wave of his hand, a string of golden numbers appeared in the void realm and was deeply imprinted into Yan Ning's sea of consciousness. Then there are the universe crystals. The real universe crystals are beneath the flower of legacy. They should be enough for you. At a conservative estimate, there are at least 12 Hunyuan units. Over all these years, the Earth vein has accumulated quite a lot. 12 Hunyuan units. Yan Ning's heart skipped a beat. 1 Hunyuan unit equals 1 trillion Ganwu coins. 12 Hunyuan means over 10 trillion. True body heaven and earth, it's really happening. By the way, when you leave the Huowu pocket dimension, there's a high probability that a group of people will be waiting outside. Those jackals won't let this opportunity slip away easily. Although there are officials overseeing the mercenary evaluation, their reach isn't that long once you're out of the secret realm. Disguising as pirates, covert assassinations, highway robbery, they are more familiar with these methods than anyone. If you have the chance to grow into an undying, you can visit my master on my behalf. His title is Chuo. After saying this, Lord Huwu's gaze finally softened. He looked at Yan Ning as if looking at his younger self and said softly, "You are stronger than me. You are more lucid than me, more enduring than me, and more ruthless than me. Go now. Take my legacy and make it out alive. See this universe, for me. The phantom began to dissipate. Starting from the feet, it turned into countless tiny points of light, dancing like fireflies. Lord Huwu's tears finally fell. The points of light fell to the ground, blooming into small golden flowers that quickly withered. Master, I'm going. If there is a next life, your disciple will kowtow to you. There was no earth-shattering commotion, no grand spectacle. A top-tier world lord who was only half a step away from being undying, a million years of obsession, thus turned into a few tears of light. And then vanished forever. Ning stood there for a long time without moving. He bent down and gave a solemn bow. 90 degrees. Courtesy, kindness, and a hint of respect for this universe and this fate. He straightened up, his voice calm. Senior Huwu, I have noted your grudge. I will go and visit your master. Rest in peace. In the void realm, the last speck of light drifted down. It lightly touched the back of Ning's hand and then went out. Amongst the silence, it felt like a sigh. The ground cracked open. Ning began to fall, passing through layers of magma, layers of rock, and layer upon layer of the earth vein. After falling for an unknown amount of time, the ground beneath him vanished, and he tumbled into a vast underground space. And then, crimson gold, amber, bright yellow, layer upon layer, covering the entire underground space. Extending from beneath his feet to the edge of his vision, piled from the ground to the dome hundreds of meters above his head. A conservative estimate, 2 million cubic meters, even more. Standing in the sea of universe crystals, Ning took several deep breaths to calm himself down. 2 million cubic meters of universe crystals. 1 cubic meter equals 1,000 universe coins, 1 universe coin equals 3,300 Ganwu coins. 2 million cubic meters equals 2 billion universe coins equals 6.66 trillion Ganwu coins. But that wasn't the point. The point was that the quality of these universe crystals far exceeded those circulating in the outside world. World Lord Huowu had fallen a million years ago, his internal world had collapsed, and law fragments had merged into the universe crystals. Every cubic meter carried a rich aura of the law of gold and the law of fire. For the golden horned beast, this was the best fodder. For the cultivation of true body heaven and earth, these were the most perfect materials. Ning reached out and began to pack them into his spatial rings. 1 cubic meter, 10, 100, 1,000. When one spatial ring was full, he switched to another. When that one was full, he switched again. The spatial rings left behind by the people from the Wanxin clan, Chifeng mercenary group, and Void cult all came in handy now. An hour later, over 200,000 cubic meters of universe crystals were all in his possession. Ning looked at the mountains of universe crystals piled in his rings and slowly let out a breath. The goal of this trip had been completed beyond expectations. No, it was way, way beyond expectations. Chapter 141, 400,000 survivors. The sky of the Huowu pocket dimension split open. Like a flower that had burned for too long, finally exhausting its last bit of strength, the petals silently curled outward, revealing a massive exit. At the edge of the exit, space rippled like water, and a distorted light curtain separated the inner and outer worlds. The first person stumbled out. Covered in scorch marks, battle armor shattered, left arm severed at the elbow. His eyes were vacant, clearly having experienced a nightmare beyond common imagination in the secret realm. But when he stepped onto the scorched earth of Kai Huo Star and breathed in the sulfur-scented air, a look of post-disaster ecstasy appeared on his scarred face. I made it out alive. He knelt on the ground, his voice hoarse, tears mixing with blood as they flowed down. Then came the second, the third, the 10th, the 100th. Survivors poured out from the exit. Some supported each other, some dragged their mangled bodies, and some carried unconscious, severely injured companions on their backs. 101kks.com, fully hand-typed, error-free site. Not a single piece of their battle armor was intact, every face was etched with deep exhaustion and fear. But they were all alive. 1,300,000 went in, over 400,000 came out. 900,000 astral rank elites remained forever in that scorched earth and lava. Those once high-spirited geniuses, those ambitious experts, those names competing on the leaderboard, more than 90% didn't even leave behind their remains. Only the gray mist remembered them. How long has it been? A loose cultivator sat on the ground, asking the person next to him blankly, how long were we in there? I feel like it was only a dozen days or so. It wasn't a dozen days. His companion calculated with difficulty. The time record in the virtual universe says 8 or 9 months. 8 or 9 months. As the words fell, everyone was stunned. How could that be? Their perceived time in the Huowu pocket dimension was only about 20 days, but 8 or 9 months had actually passed outside. The time flow in the Huowu pocket dimension is different from the outside world. Someone knowledgeable whispered, when the World Lord fell, his internal world collapsed, and fragments of the law of time scattered, causing the internal time flow to slow down. 1 day inside could be more than a month outside. No wonder I felt like I endured for so long, yet only 20 days had passed. Everyone fell silent. 8 or 9 months was enough for too many things to happen in the outside world. But to them, none of that mattered. What mattered was that they had come out alive. Furthermore, they had passed the Universe Apprentice Mercenary assessment. Even more importantly, most of them held a dozen, dozens, or even hundreds of units of universe crystals. Those universe crystals erupted from the Earth's veins, those spatial rings scavenged from dead opponents. And the wealth fished up at the risk of their lives by the lava rivers was all real. 1 unit of universe crystal is worth 3.3 million Ganwu coins. 10 units, 33 million. 100 units, 330 million. For an astral rank, this was a fortune enough to change their destiny. Additionally, they had also passed the Universe Mercenary assessment, opening up many more paths for the future. It wouldn't even be an exaggeration to say the world was now wide open to them. It's enough, it's enough. A middle-aged martial artist held the spatial bag in his hand, his eyes reddening. I've saved up 23 units. It's enough for me to cultivate to the astral rank peak when I get back. It's worth it, this life was worth it. I have 41 units. The young man next to him was so excited his voice was trembling. I can buy a high-quality genetic battle armor. But soon, a more realistic person poured cold water on them. Don't be happy too early. Look outside first. They looked up, surveyed their surroundings, and then, their pupils contracted simultaneously. Almost everyone's smile froze at the same time. At the Kaihuo Starport, on the previously empty plaza, it was now densely packed with people. Millions of them. The pressure of the universe rank was like dark clouds overhead, and the aura of territory lord ranks was like massive mountains, crushing down from all directions. Various flags fluttered under the gray sky. Haiden Empire, Chifeng Empire, Tisho Empire, Void Cult, Wanxin Clan, over a dozen empires and factions had blocked the entire port. What's going on? Someone's voice trembled. What else could it be? They're here for World Lord Huowu's inheritance. But we're not the ones who got the inheritance. We paid for the assessment after all. Surely the adults from the Universe Mercenary Alliance would send someone to guard us. Do you think they'll believe that? Moreover, if they wanted to leave alive, these loose cultivators would inevitably be fleeced. The resources and opportunities they had risked their lives for were about to be mostly taken away. Thinking of this, everyone's expression became extremely ugly. They had just crawled out of hell and hadn't even had a chance to catch their breath before being surrounded by a pack of hungry wolves. Those universe rank and territory lord rank experts looked at them like a flock of lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Everyone listen up. A burly man of the 9th level universe rank stepped forward, his voice like thunder. Hand over all the universe crystals, treasures, and secret techniques you obtained in the secret realm. Those who hand them over may live. Those who hide them, die. Behind him, over a dozen universe rank experts released their auras simultaneously, making the 400,000 people almost unable to breathe. Someone closed their eyes in despair. Someone gripped their spatial ring tightly. Death was fine, but not the spatial ring. Someone knelt on the ground, trembling all over. It's over, it's all over. Just then, a cold voice came from above. The tone wasn't high, but everyone heard it clearly. Who dares? A figure stepped down through the air from the highest point of the port. An old man in gray robes, with an ancient face and eyes like knives. He didn't release any aura, but every step he took felt like he was treading on everyone's hearts. Domain Lord Huiyu. Universe Mercenary Alliance, 9th level territory lord rank. An existence only a step away from being a world lord. He held a severed head in his hand, blood still dripping, trailing down his fingers onto the scorched earth with a sizzling sound. It was the head of the 9th level universe rank burly man who had just shouted. During the Universe Mercenary Assessment, no one is allowed to interfere with the order of the assessment or seize the legal gains of the examinees. Domain Lord Hoayu's voice was calm. Violators will be executed without mercy. He tossed the head aside, it rolled into the crowd, causing a commotion. This is the first time, and the last. Domain Lord Hoayu's gaze swept across the field. Those universe rank and territory lord rank experts lowered their heads one after another, not daring to meet his eyes. The entire field was dead silent. The 400,000 survivors watched this scene, and the heavy stone in their hearts finally fell to the ground. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Long live the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Domain Lord Huiyu didn't speak. He turned and walked back to the high ground, sat down cross-legged, and closed his eyes. But his aura had silently enveloped the entire port. Whoever dared to move, dies.